Hello, everybody, and happy Thursday to everybody out there in this big, beautiful world of ours. And we are going to talk about video game news of the week. And joining me is Mr. J Bongo. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Happy to be back. Happy to talk about gaming news and seeing where everything's at.
Yeah, we got some very, I would say it's not been super heavy news story this week. Not anything to really dive in and really think about. A lot of stuff that we're looking at is, some bad news stories, some good news stories, some funny stories. Try to kind of keep it across the board. Some exciting news. There's some Wolverine news that dropped today, but I didn't really want to talk about it too much because I haven't really deep dived into it. So I'm thinking I might save that for next week when we get some more information, or I might just do a video on it myself. But besides that, how are you doing, Mr. Bongo? Anything new and interesting going on in your life? What have you been playing?
I've been playing my way through Pal World. Surprisingly, I did not think I would really enjoy that game very much, but I'm having a ton of fun and making my way through Metroid Prime, which is just a delight. Everyone should play Metroid Prime at least once.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm at with my channel.
Well, I've been seeing the things, but unfortunately I started my new schedule, so I don't wake up as early anymore. I go to bed at 1 o'clock now.
Oh, man.
So I can't wake up as early as I used to sometimes now. But
Understandable.
I got to try to fit in everything now. Got to work out, got to make sure I play my games, do my shows. So it's like, well, luckily I got a nice bed so I can sleep deeper, so that kind of helps.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know how I've acquired a few regulars who just like to watch people play video games at like 5 a.m. Eamon's here.
Yes.
Hey, Eamon, how's it going, man?
Hello, Oni. So I confirmed that Bongo has returned, and let Eric know we've got him. Yes, he was in the chat last night with our nice interview for Mr. Eric Manaham, developer of Lucid. Great interview, and definitely looking forward to hearing more from him as soon as that game comes out as well. It's getting close to the finish line.
Yep.
As for me, I've been playing a lot of Splatoon Raiders. I found myself to be just absolutely in love with that game, and I don't know why.
I mean, I know the concept. I've never played a Splatoon game, but how is it different than? How is Splatoon Raiders different from regular Splatoon?
So I've never played a Splatoon game either, but this one was like they said, well, it's more single player focused. So I'm like, okay, let's give it a chance. Let's find out. And, it's just very fun, very simple. Kind of go into a level, beat up the bad guys, get the treasure, and go. But on top of that, too, I just think it has more depth to it than I thought. An interesting battle mechanic system of like how you want to equip your little Splatoon person to go out there. Special abilities that they go with. And big boss fights. And different level designs. It's not. I wouldn't say that it's overwhelmingly hard. I'm playing on normal, but they have 3 difficulties if you want to add a challenge. But it does have a lot of replayability as well too. So
nice.
I would say I was very surprised that I liked it as much as I do, and I think it's currently like the best-selling Nintendo Switch game for the last 3 weeks for North America and Japan. So.
Wow. Yeah. Nintendo is a way of, at least with their like artistic side, they're quite creative. They make these original IPs and they just kind of take off.
I will say this: if you have a 4K TV, this game looks absolutely gorgeous. I don't know what it is. It's just very beautiful. The little paint, the ink coloring, and that it really pops. And and the Salmonoids is like your big enemy. They're nightmare fuel. All of them are nightmare fuel. They look like just something you would see out of a Tim Burton nightmare. All right, so let's get started with the news then this week. Do you want to go good news, bad news, or silly news?
Oh dang! I'm a big fan of having stories end with a happy ending. So let's do bad news first.
All right, let's go with our first bad news then of today. So earlier this week, Supermassive Games, best known for the Until Dawn series they shared on their Twitter account here today. that we have made the difficult decision to begin a redundancy consultation process, which we anticipate will result in the loss of up to 75 employees.
Oof.
So, as of recently, they just released that Directive 8020, which I think is more inspired by like The Thing and stuff like that. But apparently, it has not been selling too well. So, they have unfortunately been another company that's been hit by layoffs. Now, are you a fan of Supermassive Games? Do you know any of their games? Have you played any of them?
I'm sure I've heard of them. I mean, I've heard of their games, but I can't recall one off the top of my head that I played. I'm looking it up now. I mean, I know Until Dawn. I've watched playthroughs of it. I'm not like opposed to that type of gameplay. Very,
Yeah.
movie focused. It's a cool story, but Little Nightmares. Did they do Little Nightmares or Little Nightmares?
I think they were. I think they were an assist studio with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they were a support studio on that one. But no, they're more recently known for the Dark Pictures anthology, which is, I think, like Little Hope, Man of Medan, House of Ash.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I've watched Man of Medan.
Yeah.
That playthrough. Again, like
Yeah.
it's cool storytelling. It's intriguing, and I could see, the big draw is the story itself. It's kind of that edge of gameplay, or gameplay, quote unquote, I would say. I still consider it a game for sure.
They're point and click adventures with a horror twist, basically.
Yeah.
So, but
unfortunately,
still,
it's sad that we're seeing more and more of this. And do you think it's good? I mean, I know you know all the history of it. You've explained it to me a few times now, but like, do you see an end in sight to these layoffs or studios going under, or is there? What do you think?
You know what? I don't. There's a line to kind of quote Mass Effect. The genocide of a species can take hundreds of years to do, especially when it's grandiose and far across like the whole galaxy. Mm-hmm. So, with the game industry, it's so hard to tell what's going to happen and when it's going to stop. I think we're still going to be seeing a lot more of this for years to come. Like at least another. If I had to be optimistic, maybe another 3 years, we're going to still see this be impacted. Especially when we see more AI kind of come in and help, reduce some roles at some companies. But I always say this. AI will eliminate a lot of jobs in gaming, but it will also create a lot of jobs in gaming with people going out there and doing more indie stuff or starting new studios and having, more opportunity to do it. The biggest problem, again, though, is that doesn't fix the issue. Because we have more jobs, that also means we have more games. And that means we have more opportunities for games to just fail because they don't get exposure.
Yeah. Or become repetitive and redundant, or just money cash grabs. What works.
Well, we talked about this last night, Eric and me, and I even brought this up. It's like it is refreshing to have indie devs try something that looks very fun and polished, unlike I'm just going to make Earthbound Clone 700 just to go with it.
Well, something that I've watched 2 interviews now with Eric, and I've been following him for a while. With Lucid, and with him, and like even experiencing Pal World for myself, you can kind of tell when you play a game or when you see a game being developed that's like, this is not just a game, it's the developer's baby. And I think people want to see that. I think when people see the care that's put into it, and it's not just for the money, it's a project of passion. I think that speaks to people, and getting noticed is really, really difficult. Pal World was helped by the controversy, but I can't think of what else, what you could do more to help your advertisement than controversy.
Yeah,
but,
like an indie game has a lot of high probability, if it hits, that you're set for life. Yeah. And that's something that you can't really say so much when you get into the AAA industry, because
because it's not yours. You get a salary.
Well, it's not even that, but it's just like the budgets are so high that even though you have a guaranteed paycheck, you know, if you don't if you don't hit that mark, you're going to have to just try to find a new job afterwards, you know?
Yep. Yep.
And there's been a lot of great success stories out there, you know, Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight, this game that came out recently, Dench Attack, which I've been playing. Really good indie game.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It has like that, it's basically like a Tony Hawk style like a tricks game with like Japanese trains. That's the best way to say it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's very fun. It has some issues, I would say, for me personally, but I think overall it was a very solid first attempt by these devs. Yeah, awesome. The train game. Yeah, it's good.
A game that I played that I think should be on your radar is Dusk Fade.
I just saw that today. Our friend, Mr. Dread Roberts, he was playing it in the Discord, and I was watching him.
Yeah, I played the demo. I was super impressed. It brought me back to the good old platformers of the golden era of gaming in the 2000s. Definitely, I think I'm going to have to do a full playthrough of that on my channel. But one of those games, small studio, you can clearly see that they put a lot of care into their game.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with you. There's some fun stuff out there. I was watching a little bit of today. I'm like, oh, wow, they stole Sora's run animation. That's all I can think of. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, they did.
All right, so we got some more breaking news today, and unfortunately this was also bad news. This comes from GameFile from Steve Totillo, and it says, breaking, Netflix to shut down 2 more game studios. Oxenfree, Night School, and Moonloot closing as streaming giant continues to shrink internal games operations. So, as you said here, Oxenfree is one of the big games out there from Night School, also known for After Party, and I think there was another game that they're good with too. I can't remember off the top of my head. Moonloot, no idea who the hell they are. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sorry that you guys are losing your jobs, but I have no clue who you guys are at all, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just being honest. Night School kind of sucks though, because Oxenfree is a really fun game. And After Party is also a very interesting, unique kind of take on, I guess, the afterlife. You know, it's a game that where you basically go to hell, and you have to basically go through the day's events of hell. So it's like during the day everyone's tortured, but at night they get to go off and they just like drink and have parties and stuff. So it was very interesting to say the least. But once again, like I said, we're seeing the great contraction of gaming. Netflix, Amazon, people who try to break into gaming just have been, once again, met with the reality of making games is hard and not easy.
Yeah. Yep. And didn't they? I thought Netflix just recently bought another studio. Because, like you said, we've chatted about this before, about the future of gaming being, cloud streaming. And it does seem like the natural fit is to just see these big streaming platforms absorb studios and make it so that, you just turn on your TV and pick up your controller and you play right through Netflix. But like you said, it seems not as easy as as they thought it would be.
The problem is, I think the problem is, once again, you never know what's going to be a hit. Look at Mecha Chameleon. Like that game it sold like 20 million copies.
Yep.
And like it's a big smash hit darling. And then you've got games like, that should be like smash hits that don't make sense. We were looking at this last week. The top 3 games, I think, PlayStation of last month in July were Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, and Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. So 2 ports and a remaster of old games were just dominated the charts. So it's just like, I give up. I just give up. You win. I don't know what to say. I just kind of go, I just have to speak the truth and just give my thoughts about it and just be like, look, just because I have an opinion doesn't mean it's right. Yeah.
People like themselves some nostalgia.
Exactly. Oni here has a good one I kind of want to bring up here. Speaking of which, people are 100%ing Dusk Fade in under 25 hours. The game after launch discount will be $30. What are your thoughts on entertainment hours versus monetary cost? So,
Well,
uh, Jay, you want to say your piece on this one
I'll,
first?
I'll say my piece first. This, out of every opinion I've had, so I don't have a ton of reach. I think I might have expressed this before, so forgive me if I repeat myself. But out of the opinions I've had on gaming, this one seems to get me the most hate, and I don't know why. Um, but like, I did have an indie developer contact me once after I played their demo, and they're like, "If you were to give this game a price, what would you give it?" And the first question I asked them, well, like, how long does it take to beat it once? That was the first question I asked, and they said, "Okay, well, we expect players to get like about 20 hours out of it." And I'm like, "Okay, so probably solely based on that, I would price the game around 20 bucks." Like I have this thing in my head, my own personal thing is like $1 an hour. I feel like that's fair. People think when I say that, people think what I'm saying is that I'm that's the only metric. Like, therefore, games that are hundreds of hours long should be hundreds of dollars, or a game that is only 10 hours long should only be $10. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, we have this one metric. We average it out with other metrics to consider, like art and quality and things like that. But from what I played of Dusk Fade, a 25-hour experience to 100% unless they have some more things in there for replayability, I would say that that's fair. 30 bucks. I don't know. What do you think?
So I've had this issue going back to probably 2019 now, when I
Mm-hmm.
first really started to get more active on social media. Gamers, to me, frustrate me because I don't know how to pin down an argument with people sometimes. And sometimes the old saying is like, you can enter a room and it's like three people, but you can have six different perspectives, is what the old
Yeah.
saying is. And I feel like with gamers, it's whatever they feel like they need to say in that moment is what
Uh-huh.
they'll just say. Like, they don't have a perspective per se. They'll just
Right.
say what they like, what their vibes base. You know what I mean? So like,
Uh-huh.
this is what the vibe feels like today. So let's go with it. So
Mm-hmm.
with we have all these massive open world, 100+ hour games, 100+ hour JRPGs, so on and so forth, that are like $60, and people are like, I don't want to play these games forever. I want to play other games. I have a huge backlog. I want to get to them. And
Yep.
then we had a game come out in the same year that was called Devil May Cry 5. And Devil May Cry 5 you could beat within like 5 hours or something like that. And people are like, why am I paying $60 for a 5 hour game? This is stupid and bull
Mm-hmm.
crap and nonsense. And basically I'm like, well, you can replay the game. You know that, right? Like, you
Yeah.
can learn
Yeah.
the tricks. You could try to 100% it. You could go through all the difficulty options and get all the unlocks and do all these other things. And like, when you point that out, it's, like you just said, like, maybe you should murder your puppy and then it'll be more
Yeah.
entertaining to these people, you know? And I'm like, wait, what, calm down. Like, why
Yeah.
is it? So, the
Yeah. I
thing,
mean, sorry. I
gone.
want to clarify what I mean. Like that question I asked, how long does it play to beat it once? I'm basing that off of like most players will play it, beat it, and then put it down. What I really kind of base it off of is how long does the game hold my interest? Like I put 50 hours in the Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $20 for it. I 100% of it, got everything, the highest scores in every level, and I'm done with it. And I'm perfectly happy with it. Maybe if they come out with a DLC, it'll be good. But like I agree with the Devil May Cry take. Like, just because you can beat the story in 5 hours doesn't mean it's not worth the $60. Like, that's not what I'm not saying that.
I here's, like I said, for me it's just frustrating because you got to have a conversation with people, and for me, it's you got to sit down and first you got to gauge the person you're talking to. You got to understand, kind of like, think about it this way: when you talk to someone, think about it as like you're on trial with someone, like you're like the prosecution, and you got to look at it and basically go like, okay, is this witness hostile or is he a cooperative witness? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the biggest issues I have when you try to talk about, like, okay, what do you think a game should cost? And to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you what a game should cost because I don't know what the budget factor is. I don't know how many people worked on it, so on and so forth. So, for example, like we were talking about before, indie devs have a really good way to kind of just strike it rich and get lucky. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, like an indie dev, you could probably charge between $10 to $20. I think would be like a great thing for a game. Like 2 games, for example. Let's go with that I was just talking about. I've been playing Shift at Midnight, and Shift at Midnight is a bare bones, basic, fun little loop game of like trying to find demons and stop them from leaving your store, so on and so forth. That was $10.
Yeah.
Then there's another game, Dench Attack, which you could tell had more budget and was like way more, in depth to it, and that was $20. So like those can sell high. But if we're talking about a game like, say for example, that has a multi-million-dollar budget, like 130 people working on it, and oh yeah, it's been in development for 10, 20 years,
Yeah.
So it's just like, I understand why they want to sell because they need to maximize their profit return and everything else.
Yeah. Well, like a game like Pal World could be a full price game. I think Pal World could be for what it is. Sorry, based on the amount of content and what you're getting out of it, like I think it could be a full price game. I don't think people would buy it if it were full price because it's not a AAA established studio and it's still running under the shadow of being just like a knockoff Pokemon, which it's not. I think like Silk Song was drastically underpriced. They could have charged $40 for that game, and people would 100% have bought it.
I don't know if they would have though. I think there would have been people who would have been very mad if they charged $40 because you don't know what a gamer wants. I know like the former CEO of Blizzard got so much shit for saying that. Like when it comes to games, you don't know what you want. And the more I sit there, I'm like, yeah, he's not wrong, and I mean that in like the only thing I can tell people when we talk about price and everything else like that. A game is only worth it for what you're willing to spend on it. At the end of the day, only you can tell you what is worth it for you. Some people wait. Some people buy it right away. Some people like to support. I'm a person that buys it right away because I do a gaming show. I got to be part of the conversation. I got to be aware of it. I'm also a physical collector. And if you miss out on, say, like, look, for example, Elder Scrolls Oblivion came to Switch 2 just recently. Sold out everywhere. The price went from $60 to now you have to go $150, if not more, on the secondary market.
Ugh.
It's a catch-22, especially if you're a physical collector. If you're a digital collector, yeah, that's a little different. You never have to worry about that. But like I said, there's so many variables, factors, and everything else for me to talk about. Like when you go and you have to make a purchasing decision. It comes down to that. Are you strapped for cash at the moment? Do you have Game Pass? Do you only play like 3 games a year? Are you a collector that collects everything?
I'd say also things to consider, like, is the game a remake or a remaster or something like that? Like when Prime Remastered came out, they priced it at $40. They could have been jerks and made it a full price game, but I think that was pretty fair because it was a game that a lot of people had played before. The people playing it probably played it before, so they put it at $40. I'm not sure how they derived $40, but that's what they figured. Probably what people were willing to pay for it, and that probably made the game succeed more, just because they were willing to take a hit on the profits. But.
Yeah, he was saying that in response to the classic WoW stuff. You're right about that, and he did, I think, even take his lumps at another BlizzCon. But at the same time, he was right for the wrong reasons. Let's just say, you know what I mean? I think that happens sometimes. You're right for the wrong reasons. Like it was not put on right here. But that's no surprise considering Diablo Immortal. Don't you guys have phones? I was at that BlizzCon. That was my bachelor party. I always have to tell that story. When everyone brings up Diablo Immortal, I'm like, yeah, I went to that BlizzCon. It was my bachelor party before I got married.
But that goes to show you that just because it's like you get all this backlash and then that game basically just prints money,
I mean, I
You
guess
know?
Diablo Immortal's doing well enough because it's
Yeah.
now it got a PC port and everything else.
Yep.
So, that's kind of like I think that's mostly most of the bad news.
That's good.
So,
Not
we'll, we'll,
too
we'll,
bad.
we'll see what happens as we go forward here. All right, let's get into some quick news stories. So this comes from Discussing Film, and also before we continue, just remember if you want to read any of these stories in more detail and give your own opinion and educate yourself more, because we're not kind of reading these articles right now. Links to everything that we're talking about are in the description of this video, so you can read them at your own leisure, and so on and so forth. And also, if we're using these people for their information, give them a click. You know, Steve Totillo probably is one of the only few actual real games journalists left out there, so I would say go support him too. He does good work. But next up, we're going to just read Twitter headlines, because that's the easiest way to do content now. So the first up, we got over here from Discussing Film. Right now, the next Travelers Tales game is going to be focused on another major Warner Brothers IP. So my guess, I'm thinking Lord of the Rings. That's what I think they're going to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That could be it. That's the
Yes.
next big IP Lego has to absorb.
Yes. Especially because considering this week we also got a shadow drop of the Lord of the Rings War in the North as well. Yeah. So that was also that kind of came out of nowhere. So with that being said, for people out there who are physical collectors as well, so we'll share this right now too. It was announced too that Limited Run Games will also be doing the physical copies of all of these Aspyr Media Lord of the Rings games.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. Also, Aspyr Media, as everyone knows, did the remakes and ports of a lot of the old licensed Star Wars games from back in the day. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people give them more hate than usual. I know that they had a really bad fallout with Disney because originally it was promised that they were going to do the cut content DLC for Knights of the Old Republic 2. Yeah. That stuff fell apart. And unfortunately, their last big release was the ports of Battlefront 1 and 2, mm-hmm. Which I always joke with people. They were the most faithful remakes out there because the online was dog shit. And it was dog shit back in the day. Everyone forgets about that. You know?
But we had fun back then.
Yes, so I just got to remind everyone. The online for Battlefront 1 and 2 were dog shit. They did a great job. You should be happy. But
sorry, to go back to the Lego thing. Did you ever play any of the Lego games?
So I kind of have dabbled with them a little bit. I bought that Batman one. That looks really cool. Yeah. I've been trying to like figure out where I'm going to fit that into my schedule. But it's just, the long march of the backlog just will never end.
Yep.
And I think that game came out while I was on vacation, so it's like it's already messed up with the synchronizing of like when I can play it in.
I played back when they first released the Star Wars ones. They're pretty fun. They're usually filled with content and there's plenty there for both like adults and kids to enjoy. So I mean, they usually do a pretty good job from what I understand with their games. So a Lego Lord of the Rings game is intriguing to me. They also have like really, they're funny. They've got some good, kind of slapstick humor going on.
They're great. They're good, competent games that are good for kids of any age.
Yeah.
So, speaking of more Lord of the Rings stuff, and this kind of comes in here too, from the press release, it says Lord of the Rings War in the North Legacy Edition is licensed by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment and is the first Lord of the Rings title released by Aspyr. Fans can look forward to even more classic releases by Aspyr from this franchise in the future. So, with that being said, obviously a lot of people are hoping to get more of the classic ones, like the licensed Return of the King's game, the licensed Two Towers game.
Awesome.
Lord of the Rings Conquest, which was aforementioned Battlefront clone, but in Lord of the Rings world. And for me personally, Battle for Middle Earth, the RTS Lord of the Rings games.
Yeah. Oh, those are so good.
So I love as well. So before we move on, I'm very excited for this in the future. I actually had a fun conversation with our friend Mr. Angry Canadian and Dread Roberts, and I think even Nerdporial, he was there as well, if he's still here. We were talking about all the fun little things that we can do and see. So going back in the day, did you ever play those old classic Lord of the Rings license games?
Yeah, I played the Two Towers and the Return of the King one. I remember having more than a few sleepovers with my friends. We'd be up all night just trying to beat it together on co-op, local co-op. Oh, I miss that. Those are great. Yeah.
I love the Return of the King game. That was such a well done, action adventure game that you could just play with your friends.
Yep.
It was.
Do you remember? I don't know why I'm remembering this, but I remember there's one setting. Sorry, not one. I don't know if we were playing on hard mode or whatever, but there's one level where you're Frodo and Sam, and you're trying to make it to the top of the tower at the end of the game.
Yeah.
At the very end of the level, the bridge collapses, and if one of you is not far up, but it's weird because the camera kind of like messes with you.
Mm-hmm.
If one of you falls, both of you die, and you have to go back it's like a 10-minute like retrace back up to the top. And I don't know. That's one of those gaming moments that I remember being the most frustrated in my childhood.
Yeah, I remember that. That was an old mechanic of you can't be too far away, otherwise you die.
Yep.
And also, Oni here says, I think the only Lord of the Rings game I played was the sequel to the one that reimagined Shelob as a sexy Asian lady.
That was
Shadow of War.
Shadow of War. Yeah, Shadow of War.
Speaking of Shadow of War, that is the one collector's edition I want to buy one day for this channel and unbox. Because it is really nice. It comes with a nice Nazgul rider statue.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I can't.
Like the Fell Beast?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty cool. But it's like $500 to buy it on the secondhand market. So, help us monetize. Like this and share it out with your friends.
Yeah, there you go.
And Oni has one more question here. Speaking of backlogs, here's an interesting one for y'all. Many indie studios are now giving away their first title shortly before the release of a sequel. What are your thoughts on that? Very pro-consumer move, and if you can afford to do that, hey, who am I to judge?
Yeah, I mean, if sales have stalled, it seems like a pretty good, free publicity thing.
Yes,
well,
I
not
agree.
Free, but
I mean, when I VGP, when there's a game out there, Tormented Souls. When they were doing the release of Tormented Souls 2, they gave you a free copy of the first game physically with your pre-order. So it's not unusual to see that happen. Alrighty. So next up, let's get some more video game news out here. It was recently announced. Embracer Group had their financial announcements, and they have announced that Darksiders 4 and the next game in the Kingdom Come franchise are expected to be released in the next couple of years. So here's the statement that was taken out of there. And like I said, if you want to read the full financial report, link is in the description of this video. Our pipeline is strengthening while CAPEX and OPEX continue to trend downwards. The current financial year is anchored by Metro 2039 and Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, both expected to release in February 2027. Momentum for Metro 2039 development by our Studio 4A Games is strong. After its reveal, the game raced to 1 million wishlists in record-breaking time, reaching this milestone faster than any title in our history. Wishlists continue to grow ahead of expectation. We are excited to let players experience the game at Gamescom in Cologne in a few weeks. In financial year 27 and 28, we expect the release of the next game in Kingdom Come's franchise from Four Horse Studios, Darksiders 4 from Gunfire Games, as well as the externally published Tomb Raiders Catalyst for Crystal Dynamics, and along with Wild Flying Hogs and Eidos Montreal. All right, then. So that was a lot to unlock there. So, Mr. Bongo, are you a fan of any of these games? First, let's and foremost.
speaking of backlogs, I have Darksiders 1, 2, and 3 on my Switch that I have not touched. And I remember when the first one was coming out a long time ago, long time ago. I remember before it was called. It wasn't Darksiders that when it was first announced. It was some other game. But like I'm super into like esoteric Bible knowledge stuff. So the idea of like the four horsemen of the apocalypse, Nephilim, all that crazy stuff. I was super interested in it, and something happened in life, and I went to college or something, and never got into it. But I have them all, and I someday, I guess, when my backlog gets lower,
It never will. Don't you ever say these words because you know it's true.
Yeah.
But no, I ironically enough, I actually started playing Darksiders, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The War Master Edition, I think what it's called.
Yeah, I have that one. Yeah.
Because they just did a PS5 and a Series X and S update. So I think I bought them all. They were on like a sale on Xbox for like $5 for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, if I don't like it, fuck it. I only spent $5, you know. So
yeah, that was my mentality too. They were really cheap.
So I've been enjoying it a lot. I'm on the Batgirl boss fight right now, and I'm just struggling because it's a stupid battle mechanic, and I'm like, okay, I hate this, but I didn't prep for this fight, so it's like, well, I just gotta lock in on this one. But I like the Metro series. I actually do have the Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis pre-ordered because there's a really cool collector's edition that comes with a nice statue of her shooting a T-Rex in the mouth. I'm going to see if I can pull that up real quick. But I got that pre-ordered for an unboxing as well in the future. But I'm excited about a lot of this stuff. I haven't played the Kingdom Come games. Have you played those?
No, Kingdom Come Deliverance. They just released the second one a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Stuff about it. I mean, I've heard it's very I don't know if niche is the right word, but I remember looking into it, and people were like, play the first one because it's, you gotta get used to the battle system because it can be quite difficult. But
yeah, exactly.
So that kind of turned me off to it, honestly, because we had just moved and I was super busy, more busy than I am now. And the idea of learning and being patient with a game was not on my not on my radar at that point.
Right. But yeah, I do agree with you on that one. It is got a lot of good RPG elements and storytelling. I hear everyone that plays it loves it, but you just gotta sit down and really devote your life to it.
That is a cool statue.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to buy it. That statue looks pretty sick. I just gotta find a place for it. But yes, Oni, they did change the YouTube requirements starting next year. Honestly, somebody who actually goes to work and scrolls through the shorts while I'm at work, it's just AI slop and garbage everywhere. So I will gladly say, like, look, it needs to happen. They just need to get rid of the AI garbage. That's just.
I hope they do, and they like. Because again, I was getting around 1,000 views per short just a few days ago, and then the past 3 days, I've plummeted down to like 20, or like maybe 100 on a good one. So it's like I don't know what they want me to do. It's like I'm not making AI slop. They want to promote real stuff, then promote real stuff. But yeah,
okay,
it's frustrating.
So let's go to more financial news that's come out as well. But this one, more so, we're just going to touch on probably the breaking news story, which kind of caught me off guard. First off, this is going to be news on Duskbloods. So we got Kadokawa, which is the publisher or owner of FromSoft. And they just put out their financial information. And the biggest thing that we can take away from this still is it says Duskbloods is still planning to release this year, in the year 2026. So Duskbloods, for those people out there who don't know what that is, it is FromSoft's new game in their series of video games. That's a Switch 2 exclusive So they got a Souls-like Switch 2 exclusive game.
I bet that made a lot of people angry.
Yeah, it probably did. But
It's kind of
I
like when
know.
Resident Evil 4 came out on the GameCube exclusively.
But on top of that, too, this is probably a lot of people's most highly anticipated game out there because obviously there's a huge amount of FromSoft fans. And on top of that, too, these games really do sell well. It's a Switch 2 seller. I know people who specifically have bought a Switch 2 just to play this game. And I just want to know, when is this game coming out then? Because Grand Theft Auto is coming out in November, and honestly, this game could probably be, the only other game that could really compete against it if you wanted to just throw it out there in November and not have it die, because, it is its own standalone IP, and it's only going to be for the Switch too.
Yeah, well, for now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be ported.
Oh, wow, man. Good on it. I mean, man, Nintendo's doing the same playbook they did with the Switch. It's like they released an underpowered system that can all of a sudden get all of these AAA games that were popular like 3 years ago, and everyone's like, "Oh, I can play this for the first time." I never that's how I played The Witcher 3. I played it on my Switch. It was super cheap, and I bought it cheap. And now they get an exclusive from software, and then they get Elden Ring, and like that's a huge draw, Smart. Smart by Nintendo to do that.
On top of that, too, they just had their sign-ups for their beta testing coming up. So I'm curious to hear more about it from the people who actually got to invite and play it. But they still...
Did you play Elden Ring?
I'm terrible at FromSoft games.
Okay.
These are games that I love the artwork, I love the story, I love the world, but I have retard hands and I can't play these games. I've said that. I just fully admit that. I'm like, they don't click for me. I don't know why. I can play games that have stamina bar systems like Dragon's Dogma or Monster Hunter or something like that. They click with me. These games don't click with me. Don't know why. I couldn't tell you. I
get every year I get older, I'm afraid like I'm gonna lose it. Like when I remember playing Ninja Gaiden Ragebound or even Silk Song, I was like afraid, like, am I gonna be able to beat this? I'm almost 40. when do the hands die?
Oh well.
But
no, like I'm a former drug addict, so I've already lost some of my motor skill from probably just hardcore partying. You know what I mean? so like it is what it is with that. I try not to fully shit on games that I'm not good at. Because if I'm not good at the game, it's like, look, I'm just not good at the game. I'm not going to be able to judge a game. If I'm trash at it, it's not the game's fault. It's my fault. It's just I haven't put in the work or the patience or the time to it. Because I can do it. Like, I've got the Platinum Trophy from Monster Hunter World. I've gotten hundreds of hours of Rise and everything else like that. And I can play these games if I put my mind to it. I could do anything. Yeah. But I just don't like getting hit 3 times and you die. I'm like, this is not fun for me. I tried that Beast of Reincarnation. It's the same shit, and I just like. So there's a Lewis Black joke out there where he's talking about candy corn. Have you ever seen this one?
No.
So the punchline of the joke is he's like, every year, like a patient with Alzheimer's, I go candy corn that tastes like candy, and I eat it. And I go, this tastes like shit! And I walk away. And that's kind of like me with From Software games. It's like every year I buy them, I play them, and I go, hopefully this is the year that clicks. And it just does not click. It does not click. And that's not saying that they're bad games. They win Game of the Year. Everyone loves them. There's a reason why Elden Ring, I think, sold like 20 plus million copies. Yep. All right? It's because they're really good and awesome games. Okay?
Yep.
And it's just me. It's totally on me. And that's totally fine. Okay? So like, again, if you're a FromSoft fan, a Dark Souls fan, whatever fan, I'm not shitting on your games. Don't worry about that. But yeah, so I'm curious to see when we hear a release date for that.
They did Danganronpa?
No, Kadokawa. They own these other studios. But yeah,
Okay.
Danganronpa, the remake for Danganronpa 2, that's supposedly coming out early next year as well too.
I've never played. I've only watched the Game Grumps play it.
Yeah,
Not my type of game.
yeah. There's a streamer that beat Maylene from Elden Ring using a dance pad, and Stormfall 33 that beat Maylene at level 1. There's the people who figure out how to play Elden Ring games with like a potato and a child's
Yeah.
controller. I'm like, guys, like find a cure for cancer. You're wasting your skills, bro.
Oh no, there was that guy who beat. He did like the From Software run where he beat all the mainline From Software games uh, at level 1 with the worst weapon, with no armor, without getting hit, and he did it. He streamed it. It took him like years to do, and he finally did it. And
That's cool. That's so
yeah,
cool. I'm not trying to diminish this guy, but it's just like, man, imagine if that guy was like working for the government. You know, like he could kill all of America's enemies without a problem. So be thankful. That's all I can say. That he developed a different type of autism. He's like, that's not cool. I want to beat all the Dark Souls games without getting hit.
well, I mean, I've I've had that when I'm like somewhat proud of a gaming achievement, and I post about it, but it's like, man, that is I don't know what my wife would say if I told her that was my goal.
I don't know. I've told my wife so many things just to gaslight her, just to troll her. I don't even know what she would say to me anymore at this point. All right. Let's see. You want to talk Pokemon next? There's a lot of actual Pokemon news
Let's
this
do
week.
Pokemon.
Let's talk some Pokemans over here. So the first one, this comes from Cerno Leaks, and it's been posted about a few times. It's not so much a rumor anymore, but it does sound like it's official. Pokemon Wind and Waves will be directed by Hiroyuki Tanai, I think that's how you say. The director of Pokemon Sword and Shields DLC, and Katsu. I'm not going to even try to attempt to butcher this guy's name. The director of Scarlet and Violet's DLC. So this would mean that after 10 long years, the era of Shigeru Ohomori as director of new Pokemon generation is over. So sounds like we got some new talent to take over the Pokemon series, and these are the people who worked on the DLCs for both Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet.
You know, just like what Tanabe gave us so many great classics with Nintendo, and then he just dropped the ball on Metroid Prime 4. So something similar here. I know Scarlet and Violet was not received well and was pretty buggy. Maybe it's just, people do good work for a while and then it's hard. It's hard to maintain. So
it
bring in someone new.
It is hard, but to also point this out here, for as much crap as people give Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield, they are now officially the number 2 and number 3 best-selling Pokemon games of all time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they're closing in. Scarlet and Violet is only 3 million copies away from surpassing Pokemon Red and Blue as the best-selling Pokemon games of all time.
Dang, that is. I need to play it because I have this thing where I say every now and then it's like a game. A game. There's a difference between a game being quality and good versus a game like, okay, all quality good games are fun, but not all fun games are quality and good.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And not all games that make money are good. So I'm like, I want to play it now because I want to see if is it really as bad as people say, or that kind of thing.
So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on the original Switch is a really wonderful game that runs at 3 frames per second. So
yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
It is terrible, but I heard the Switch 2 copy fixes a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to go back and replay them and kind of find out for myself too. Because I did actually, once again, resident Pokemon simp here. I play the game. It's been a big part of my life. I played professionally, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're really good games, but they were definitely held back.
Yeah, I've been replaying Fire Red actually in my lay in bed, watch a show with my wife time.
Well, you
It's
know,
fun. It's a lot of
funny
fun.
funny that you say that because this is a good transition out here because we do have some news
Oh,
about Fire Red and
cool.
Leaf Green. Look at that.
I knew they were going to do this. I knew they were going to do something like this.
So then we got some big announcements here today. Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green will be added to Pokemon Home connectability beginning on October 26th.
Yep.
Complete the Pokedex for both of them, and you will receive a free Celebi as well. And also announced today as well, they are closing down Pokemon Home as well later this year. So if you are still using Pokemon Home, not Pokemon Home, Pokemon Bank, sorry.
Pokemon Bank.
Yes, quickly get all your Pokemon out of there as fast as you can. Otherwise, you will lose them forever. It's sad, but
I bet the homebrew community will step in. They created their own like bootleg network so that you can still play on the 3DS multiplayer over the internet. Maybe they'll step in and do something.
yes, but if you're gonna do that, don't update your 3DS. Otherwise,
Yes.
you break it.
Do not do that.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people at first. You know what's funny? So we go back when they first announced Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, and originally people were losing their mind. They're like, "Oh, they're going to charge $60 for it," and then it was said that, well, they're going to charge $30 for it, and people are still mad.
Yeah.
And now they charge $20 for these ports, and on top of that too. Yeah, well, on top of that too, they fixed the problems with the games because there was a glitch where if you ran into Raikou or Entei and they used Roar in the actual physical copies, you would never be able to catch them ever again. You would never be able to run into them.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and on top of that too, after you beat the Elite Four, they gave you the two tickets, the Eon ticket and I think the Rainbow ticket. I can't remember off the top of my head what they're called. But that gave you access to the event Pokemon, and that was to get Deoxys or Ho-Oh and Lugia, depending on which version of the game you had.
Yeah.
So for $20, that was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I was happy with it. Eamon brought up Pokemon Legends ZA, and did you play ZA and Pokemon Legends Arceus? Or was it Arceus?
Yes, Arceus, Arceus, whatever one it is. So yeah,
did you like those?
I will address this too. Nintendo wasn't bragging about it. Someone pointed out that the budget cost less than a Super Bowl commercial. So that's why that was brought up as well. I played both Arceus and ZA. I liked Arceus a lot more, only because I liked the setting a lot more.
Yes, yeah.
That's the best way to say it. I enjoy these games. I got a lot of shit from somebody because I say I just find these games cozy and I just enjoy them.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people get upset when you go like I have fun. They're cozy. I put them on. You know, my dog is sleeping on me and I'm just playing a game while my wife is next to me just doing whatever she's doing and I'm just vibing with the soundtrack and capturing Pokemon, you know. Yeah.
I will say I wish I had fun with Arceus. I liked it a lot. I played it through. I didn't 100% it. But I would have preferred it. I wanted what I wanted, and this is my expectations. I wanted like Pokemon in the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like the segmented world. I wanted it to be just truly open world, and I think they could have done it. They could have done it.
It seems like Wind and Waves is going to do that.
I hope so.
It seems like it because they do have like the whole underwater world that looks like you can access. The leaks have been saying that it's more of a Pokemon MMO. But generally speaking, from everything, like if you follow CernoNet on Twitter, they basically lay out everything where it's like why certain things were left out of ZA and that was because the limitations mostly came from the Switch One. That's really what it came down to. Yeah. Like they wanted to ride Pokemon, they wanted to do all this stuff, but they were just having a problem. It does feel like a lot of what we're seeing here is that the Switch One just was not, like Game Freak just was not jiving with the Switch One and the Switch 2 kind of crossover. And they definitely tried to do that more open world in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which you could see a lot. but they just ran into a lot of issues, I think, with the engine. It just wasn't working properly. It just wasn't, functioning at the level it should have been. Because even though Sword and Shield was more of an open world feel to it, it was still a much more drastically dumbed down game in terms of it felt like that half measure. But Scarlet and Violet was the first one for their concept of the engine, and it just, you could tell that if it wasn't for the fact that they had to make these yearly releases, that they probably could have something.
Yeah, it's. I feel like it's back in the days when it was just pixel graphics on the Game Boy. It was much easier to, get these games out when you needed to. But as they got more and more complex, needed a bit more time.
Also, to kind of segue over here, to go with another theme of Gen 3 games, this comes from Special Nick on Twitter as well. Currently, the ports of Pokemon Ruby, Emerald, and Sapphire are planned for late September/October. So there's been reports out there for ever since we heard that Fire Red and Leaf Green were coming, that eventually they were going to bring over Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. I go back and forth between like what are my favorite generations of Pokemon. So obviously Gen 3 and Gen 4 I think are my favorites in terms of gameplay, story, and Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also why I liked Arceus a lot more, because it takes place in Gen 4. Can't go wrong with that. But I would love to see these get ported, especially Pokemon Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby. They're so expensive.
Yeah, I had Emerald, and expensive. I don't know what happened to it. Had Ruby, don't know what happened to it.
I finally bit the bullet like a couple years ago, and I got Emerald for $80, and now it's damn near like $150, $200 for a loose copy.
Oh God!
But I will say this: we are currently in August, so you know what that means. We're getting closer to more Nintendo updates, more PlayStation updates for the fall and winter season. Obviously, we just had a Fire Emblem showcase last week to show off the new Fortune game that also comes out in September. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get another Nintendo Direct that shows off more of if this is going to be true or not. These are some of the worst kept secrets in gaming, so more often than not, it's probably true. You have anything you'd like to say about this before we go on to our next one?
I mean, the kid in me is like, I want to start playing Pokemon again and get all the Pokemon and keep them in Pokemon Home. That's all I have to say about this.
So I want to see what Oni says here. There's a negative stigma for current day Pokemon fans beyond the Pal World thing. They compare Pokemon fans to Disney adults eating up whatever slop they're given. All right. So, as I always say, as the person who plays Pokemon games, I will say this. There's problems with the Pokemon games out there, but at the same time, a lot of people I have arguments with about Pokemon games are people who haven't played a Pokemon game in 10, 20 years max. A lot of them have not played a Pokemon game since, the Game Boy Advance days. So I would say that there is truth to the criticisms, but I also say that there's a lot of people who haven't got a shred of clue of what they're talking about when they attack the games, because they do what a lot of people do. This is kind of like what I say what the woke and the anti-woke do, is they'll go on Twitter, they'll take an out of context clip, or they'll find a glitch and they'll amplify it and they'll be like, look at this, it's all dog shit. And then it's just like, well, you're talking about like 1%. What about the other 99? So I would say the games have issues, but I would say some of those issues are kind of overblown. And that's just my personal opinion. I could talk forever about it, but we got a lot of news stories to get through, and I don't kind of want to get bogged down.
If I could just say one thing about this, there was a few instances when I was playing Metroid Prime 4 when I was complaining about the game is very heavy-handed with it leading you and guiding you, and people were more than a few comments I got on some of the shorts when I expressed that were like, well, yeah, it's a game for kids. And I'd be like, well, why do you think it's a game for kids? I'm like, well, Nintendo made it. And it's that mentality where it's like Pokemon equal game equal RPG for children. And if you like it, then, it says nothing about the like complexity of the game or the design of the game that anyone can appreciate, or whether or not it's just that there's this pervasive idea still out there that Nintendo is for kids.
I have this problem where it's just like I said, when you talk to people online, you defend your point. Oh, you're a difficult shill. You go along with the point. Oh, you're just an NPC repeating the line. If the conversation calls for it, like I say, everyone's welcome to have an opinion. Everyone's welcome to say I'm right or I'm wrong on this channel. I don't try to fully discriminate it, but I would also like to say there is that point where it's like you don't want to keep getting into a conversational like loop where we're just looping and repeating the same points and just not going anywhere. And there's a lot of people out there who can't have a conversation about something because if you try to correct them or say, well, that's not 100% true, for some reason they don't want to engage in a conversation. They just want to tell you you're wrong. So I don't want to like have bad like feelings about people in the world. I'm welcome to people having their opinion, but at the same time, we're kind of, I don't want to get lost more on this subject matter of like, well, we're just in this loop right now talking about Pokemon. I will say this, look, if you haven't played a Pokemon in 20 years, Pokemon has definitely changed a lot more than you realize. That's just what I try to go with. And if you have played the newer Pokemon games, you would agree with me that there are glaring issues with stuff that goes on inside of the Pokemon games, but not all of them are as bad as people made it out to be. That's all. And that's the long and short of it, just to kind of save some time, because you got a hard out, and I want to try to get through some more of these stories. So I apologize for everyone. I'm namaste, but we're going to kind of speed up a little bit more here, because we got 2 more Pokemon stories to go through.
Yeah.
This one's a little fun. This one's a little fun. So for all the scalpers out there, get ready, because Krispy Kreme has made an announcement that they're going to be doing a Pokemon collection. So
you're gonna go a week later after these release. You're gonna go on eBay, and there's gonna be someone's gonna take those donuts and find a company that will grade the donuts, and they're gonna be in a little.
Oh God!
With a 9.8.
They're just gonna resin the donuts and hang them up on the wall. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. And they'll be like $10,000 each.
Oh God. But as we see here, we got the Pokemon stuff over here. So you got a Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander, basically the Goat Trio, Pikachu, the mascot, and of course Jigglypuff, as well as some Pokeball little designs there. Here's a better look at it. So if you want...
I'm going to take my kids to get those.
Right now, they actually are up for pre-order. So you can actually pre-order them right now if you want.
Look that up.
If you go to Cheap Ass Games, there is a link up there right now for you to pre-order it. And go check it out as well. So I just thought that was pretty funny to see today. We're going to go over here to real quickly, as we do have another sales data update. So this comes from Business Wire. Global sales of Pokemon Pokopia for Nintendo Switch 2 surpassed 5 million units. So once again, for the people out there who don't know, Pokemon Pokopia is basically Animal Crossing with Pokemon flair to it. And it's been a surprise smash hit of the year. My wife has been super obsessed with this game, and recently they just had their first expansion DLC drop last week, which adds more underwater building features and new Pokemon as well. So yeah, I will say this, I was surprised, and when I first saw this game I was like, it's probably not going to do that good, but apparently 5 million units.
That's pretty good.
Damn good. Pretty damn good. Especially because this is a $70 game. So, my wife has been obsessed with this game. She's been like a little child with me. She's like, look, I caught a Pidgey. I got a Pidgey friend, and then everything else like that. It
seems to be more on like the cozy side. Of
super
gaming.
cozy. It's super cozy. It's been amazing to watch. This is another one of those games where this is an Instagram game. I'll say that much. You go on Twitter and you might see some stuff, but if you go on Instagram, you see like they're building the Eiffel Tower and Raccoon City and just like I'm like they're building freaking Raccoon City in Pocopia and everything
I have
else
to
like
buy
that.
this game now.
So it's wild. It kind of has that Minecraft aesthetic, and they picked a really good Pokemon with Ditto to kind of base it off of. So it's very wonderful to see that this game is having success, especially because people are saying they don't do much with the Pokemon IP, and it's kind of good to see that they're doing something with it.
Eamon says it's not made by the regular Pokemon team. Is that who made Pokopia?
Koei Tecmo is a support studio, and
interesting.
Game Freak is the lead developer on this one.
Oh,
yeah. But it's they were brought in to basically do most of the gameplay work in terms of like make the engine, make the game go. But the story, concepts, and everything else, that was all Game Freak. From everything I was looking into. Pre-order donuts, nutty.
I could do it right now, but the closest location to me is like 30 miles away.
Do it. You gotta get those donuts. You gotta come back next week and you gotta eat the donuts on stream. And you need to review it so you can tell us if the Squirtle tastes like a Squirtle. Right?
I'll do my first unboxing video to compete with you. It'll be
do it. I love it. We welcome this. But yeah, I always say that Animal Crossing games are quote games for my wife to play, and so far it has my wife's seal of approval. So
nice.
For what that's worth, if you want to know. So that should do all the Pokemon news. Let's go talk about some collecting news real quick then. All right. So it's been leaked this week that we have currently some Ocarina of Time remake news going on here. So for people who don't know, we have some photos that shows that there will be probably a limited edition Switch 2 console for Ocarina of Time remake, as well as a fun Pro controller as well. So here's some leaked photos of that. Definitely, I like this Pro controller. I like this color scheme. I'm not even a Zelda fan, but I'm like, that's pretty sick, not gonna lie, bro.
What do you think the cost is gonna be?
Oh,
I'm guessing
$600. $600.
Oh, I was gonna go $700.
Oh, I don't think they're that crazy. I think they'll do $600. Because they just raised the price of a Switch 2 to like $500. And on top of that, too, I think they always do like a $50 bump. Now, if it doesn't come with the game, maybe $550. If it comes with the game, $600.
Yeah. Well, I need to get a Switch 2, and I might actually be able to afford one with my new job. So,
I honestly, if you need help trying to get this, I'm your guy. We can work later.
Okay.
Because I always help people get their Switch consoles and everything. I helped a lot of people get consoles. Because cool. This is what I help with. So we can talk about that off screen. But
yes, let's do that.
I know there's a few people right now that are currently considering getting this as their first Switch 2 console. I think our friend Mr. Nerdy Neo, he's kind of eyeing this as well.
Yeah.
So, yep. Hold on here. Oni, listen, I understand, but you underestimate my skills. All right. I'm actually kind of insulted here that you think I'm unable to beat scalpers.
When you mentioned how expensive the Pokemon games are on eBay, I just went and did a quick look. Man, graded Emerald games are like $1,000.
I know. Well, that's funny. I was talking to AC because I'm going into Japan next year. I think we're trying to decide if it's 2 or 3 weeks for me and my wife for our vacation. And I'm like, so have the Pokemon games been gone insane now? He's like, yeah. They've learned how to scam the tourists now even worse from the Pokemon stuff out in Japan. I'm like,
yeah.
Biscuits.
You like I remember when a few years ago when I was rebuying some of my older games, I had to make sure it's like, is this a real copy or is it just like a like a reproduction. Those are all over the place now. They look like the real thing.
So I actually am going to make a short on that soon because I learned how now to edit shorts on my phone of how
cool.
to tell what a fake Pokemon cartridge is now. So expect that in the near future.
Awesome.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard,
Okay.
but I will show everyone how to do it.
Because I have a Pokemon Yellow that I'm suspect over.
Going on with more collector stuff, we have an announcement that there's going to be a Gears of War E-Day limited edition controller. You got the first one here. That's going to be the mass release version, which currently has it looks like the locust hole popping out of concrete. And this one is up for pre-order now at all major retailers as well as the Microsoft Store. And then, of course, you got the Design Labs one, which is the custom controller you can only get exclusively through the Microsoft Store, through the Controller Design Labs tab on there.
That's cool. If I was a Gears of War fan, did you ever? You're not a big Resident Evil guy, right?
Oh, I love Resident Evil.
Okay. Did you ever see the GameCube controller, the
chainsaw controller? Yes. They have two of them. You know that, right? There's two chainsaw controllers. There's a PS2 copy and there's a GameCube copy.
Oh, yeah. Let me see.
I think one's yellow and one's red. They're like $500. And that's just for the controller. I've only seen one in the wild. And I saw a complete one that had like the little display case and everything. It was like $700.
That is so crazy.
Listen, gaming is getting expensive. I just put out a PS3 retro buy guide to buy what games you should buy on the store before it closes down. And just to remind people, now that PlayStation's closing the Vita and the PS3 store, it is a shit show if you're a retro collector. Like it's just everything's crazy. Games that used to cost $40 are now $170.
Yep. What is what I'm curious, what's your position on like emulation?
If I have two minds of it. I don't care about emulation. If you cannot buy a game and the company does not give you the right to buy a game, then it's a victimless crime, and by all means do it. But if the company has the ability to sell you a game, I still believe that you should buy a game. And if you are one of those people that rips your game to put them on PC and play it how your way, I always say, look, yeah, I support the devs. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I'm not going to tell you how to do your morals. But if you're gonna argue with me about it, just be warned. If you say something stupid, I will point it out. That's all I'm saying. I am a big smartass, but like I said, I understand people have their reasons, their boycotts, and everything else like that. Whatever they want to do in life, look, I'm not going to be aggressive with you, basically. As long as you're not aggressive with me, because at the end of the day, I don't care how you spend your money. And I've said earlier in the show, how you spend your money is how you spend your money, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It's like when you have a friend that has like a girlfriend or boyfriend, and you hate them and they're stupid or they're dumb. And my answer is very simple. It's like, look, I'm not fucking them, so it's not my fucking problem. And that's the way I kind of look at it.
Yeah, I have a similar view. I think pirating current gen consoles is I think that's a big no for me. But for me, it's like like you said, if it's not unavailable, or if it's like available but I owned it at some point. I feel like if it's like a Super Nintendo game, I'm not gonna cry over it. But I bought this. Amber Nick was having a sale, so I bought their one of their smaller models.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, and Amber Nick usually sells their models with nothing on them, and you kind of have to put them on yourself. So kind of gives you that freedom to be like, well, I'm not buying any ROMs with it, so as long as I'm sticking to
Yeah.
The older stuff that I've already purchased at some point, or I can't get anymore, then I'm okay with it. But I'm
Listen,
gonna
I
use
always say this. I always say this. You don't have to justify shit. There you go. You don't have to justify anything. I just hope that you enjoy the games you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it that simple. All right, next up, we do have another collaboration announcement. This comes from PlayStation 5. So everywhere's basically got some special edition stuff showing up here. So, as I said before, there's some more Wolverine news that came out today. And it is what it is. But we did get an announcement earlier this week that they will be doing special limited edition plates, I think, for your PlayStation Slim and your PlayStation Pro. As you can see, it's like the yellow Wolverine colors, as well as limited edition controllers. And the white ones are going to be exclusive to the PlayStation Store. Now, they did do a similar thing like this with Ghost of Yotei when it launched last year as well, where they had gold plates as black plates, as well as 2 special edition controllers. So if you're interested in picking these up, this is what they kind of look like a little bit more.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, this one I think they put a little bit more effort in. I would say that a lot of the PlayStation first party special edition controllers have been very lackluster. But, got some more better views on everything here. They will have also a thing for your disk drive if you buy a disk drive copy of it too.
Drive. R.I.P. disk drive.
Yeah.
I have not heard much about this Wolverine game, and from what I have heard, people are saying it just looks okay, but I can see Wolverine is a heavy hitter when it comes to the fan draw, so I could see the game being a pretty big hit.
I will say this: I have not been impressed by what I've seen, but caveat for people who are new here or don't know me personally, I always say this. Sometimes the people, when they show off gameplay trailers, they usually don't impress me. So I'm usually one of those people that I'm not a big fan of streamers per se. I don't hate them, but I'm a more I'm just a person who likes to play the games myself.
Yes. Okay.
I like talking to people. I like listening to their thoughts. I can't really watch them play, but if there's somebody who talks while they play, I usually will put them on in the background and just listen to them talk more than anything. But that's just me. But this is just the stuff that was announced just recently. So if you're interested in Wolverine, you're a big fan, and you got a PlayStation 5 and you want to customize it, make it look cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So.
The yellow and black looks nice.
So let's just stick with the Sony theme here, and we got another announcement today. So we got an announcement that on October 1st, Ghost of Yotei will be getting a complete edition, and the complete edition means that it will come with more DLCs and ways to play it, the multiplayer expansion, and everything else on here. But let's bring up the trailer, and let's give it a watch here, shall we? Just let the gameplay do the talking. Let me just bring this up.
My mother told me stories of Onryo, ruthless spirits who wander the land, seeking vengeance. The night my family was massacred, I became such a spirit.
I swore to my father that I'd kill you.
All your stories about Aesop, I assumed you exaggerated its beauty. I was so wrong.
This isn't like old times, Nagato. One wrong move.
I'm well aware of what happens to people who cross you. We win this, I will be someone. A true samurai.
Ready? Charge!
All that matters is the man in front of you.
So there you have it. That's your update there. Story expansion, obviously a roguelike mode, multiplayer expansion, all coming on October 1st. I believe it's for $60 if you want to buy it physically with the DLC, or I believe it's $15 if you just want to buy the expansion and you already own a copy of Ghost of Yotei. I started playing this game last year, and I will say this. One of the most impressive games I played, I have a PS5 Pro, and it ran amazing with ray tracing, 60 FPS. I couldn't believe
impressive visually. Is that what you mean?
Impressive visually and performance-wise. I was blown away. I would say the PS5 Pro is not worth buying right now because it's like $1,000, but I was kind of lucky to get this game, a PS5 Pro, for $500 with a disc drive back before the price went insane.
Oof.
But this is one of the games I would highly recommend. If you have a PS5 Pro, this is the game that you want to play on your PS5 Pro. It is insanely well optimized, very beautiful, and I'm interested. I have played a little bit of it. I got distracted with other games, but this looks like a game I will definitely start playing in at the end of September to get ready for the DLC, and then kind of have more time to do it. Seeing Ghost of Yotei makes me want to check my wish list to see if Black Myth is on sale. I really want to beat that game.
I've never played either of those games.
Like I said, Black Myth is a Souls-like, so I'm not good at those games.
But wait, I thought Ghosts of Yotei and Ghosts of what's the first one? Tsushima. Aren't those Souls-like? Like they handle similarly, right?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
I would say that you can cheese these games a lot more. And so there was a meme. I used to be in a Discord group, and there was this one guy that was just basically like saying like any game that had a parry system, he's like, it's like Sekiro. And it was like, so every game that has a parry system is like Sekiro. So the joke is, Ghost of Yotei is like Sekiro. God of War 2018, it's like Sekiro because there's a parry system. You know, so definitely worth checking it out. Currently $40, so maybe. Although, Like a Dragon, Yakuza in Hawaii, love that game. Go get it. I love that game. Yes, I love Yakuza Pirates in Hawaii is one of the best games I played. It has one of the best, most unhinged side missions that you could do. They even have a little a crazy taxi simulator in there, but it's not a crazy taxi simulator. So apparently, I found this out, and I think that's what it's based off of. Sega, for the Sega Saturn, had a bicycle delivery game for your Sega Saturn. My buddy showed me it when we went out retro hunting over here, and they put that game as a mini game. So now you play as like a Uber Eats delivery guy or a DoorDash guy, and you play as Majima, and you go around and you drop off people's pizzas and burgers and stuff like that. And it's crazy. It's fun. Yeah, Yakuza Pirates is great. I also have a selfless plug. If you want to go on my channel afterwards, I do have an unboxing video of both the American and the Japanese collector's editions of those games. So if you want to see the difference, check those out. Highly recommend it. But yeah, I'm currently interested in that. And have you any interest in playing these games at all, Mr. Bongo?
I have interest in so many games, but time backlog, and also I don't have a PS5. It's it's just one of those things I would play. Okay, there's a number of things here. I'm the type of person that I know that Ghost of Yotei is removed story-wise from the first game, but that I still kind of want to play the first game first just to kind of get the experience that everybody else had, so maybe in the future I'll play it, I'll stream it. It'll be good.
Tsushima is a great game. I loved it very much. if you like Sly Cooper, it gave me a lot of or Infamous. It does have a lot of that DNA where you can tell that the Sucker Punch has definitely reformed it. Also, I gotta say this right now. Somebody said Sucker Punch is from California online earlier today. They are from Washington, the state. So I'm just going to put that out there. If you didn't know, they're not from a California-based developer. They're Washington. All right, let's go with another rumor that's been popping up online, and this also
rumors.
There's another one that kind of popped up according to IMDb. There's a leak out there that Spider-Man 3 is now in production by Insomniac Games. So basically, they're making a trilogy here. I love Spider-Man 2018. I love Miles Morales. I did not like Spider-Man 2. That's just my quick opinions on it. But we're actually working on a retrospective series later on, so I'll give more thoughts about that in the future. I hope it's good. Honestly, Insomniac really knew how to make a Spider-Man game. I had a lot of fun with these games. Have you ever played... did you play the Spider-Man game on PS4? No?
No, last Spider-Man game I played was the PS2 one that came out.
Okay.
I know you're gonna make a retrospective on it, but I'm just curious. Like, can I get like a what was the issue with Spider-Man 2?
Long and short, I'll hit this 3 points.
Okay.
Broken buggy mess at launch for me. I had a lot of crashes with that game. Waste of time stories that went nowhere. I felt like it was a massive downgrade in storytelling. And number 3, and I say this, not to offend anyone who hates these type of people, but there was a lot of agenda in it. And it was very noticeable, and I can point it out to you and actually make a salient argument as to why it was more than just, well, you play as a mission as a deaf spray paint girl. It was a lot more to it than that. I just had a lot of issues with it. That, like, obviously I can point to and just be like, look, this is where, like, you could tell that the feedback and criticism they got from a lot of the weird journalists who had, like, issues with Spider-Man working with the police. Like,
interesting.
Like,
I didn't hear that part.
yeah, so back in the day, real quickly, to catch everyone up on this, there was a few Kotaku articles, I think, or something like that. They were like saying that, like, Spider-Man 2018 was propaganda, as they like to coin frame out there. And in Spider-Man 2, they removed basically all contact with the cops in this game. And the only people that, like, Spider-Man actually talked to was the fire department. And that's it. So, like I said, I could go into more details about it, but this is a news show, but that's kind of just what I like to say to people out there, that was one thing I noticed among other things. Okay. Yeah. I think we'll skip the story. I'll make a video on this one myself later on.
Yeah, I'd be interested to watch that.
All right, so we got some funny news. And this one comes by the way of Dexter. So the Halloween game has been banned in Australia because of smoking weed buffs and Michael Myers in game. So
it is really interesting to see what different countries and different cultures value when it comes to, like, rating games. Like, I don't know. I feel like violence, like gore, is more acceptable in America.
Yeah.
When it's not acceptable in other parts of the world. And then you have little tiny things like this that nobody would bat an eye at.
Well, it's funny. So I had a friend, and her grandmother, or her mother was British, okay? And the one funny thing is that she'd get, like, British newspapers, and the women are, like, topless in the newspapers. So, like, you could see full-on titty in the British newspaper article, like, advertisements. But they weren't, like, as adverse to gore, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you come over here to America, it's just, like, violence and sexual and like craziness on TV, but if you flip open like Good Housekeeping, you're not seeing topless women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is weird, like you say, like all this stuff that goes on there, where it's just like, well, what countries like will ban a game outright or give adults only rating and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do know that. I mean, I did live overseas. Eamon just brought up South Korea,
Yeah.
and they are. It's like one of those weird things where a lot of drugs do come from overseas that go into the United States,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of countries are super duper harsh when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like they'll just throw you right in jail, kick you out of the country.
Like Singapore doesn't allow chewing gum, you know?
Yeah, I had a buddy who was traveling back to Korea from the Philippines, and some guy like smuggled drugs into his bag.
Oh God!
Like with the hopes of getting to his bag before him at the and getting it out at the turnstile when they landed in Korea.
Yeah.
And customs caught it, and he was like couldn't leave the country for a few years until they sorted it out. It was crazy. But yeah, drugs in some countries.
You know, I did post this in our links room and story room. If you ever go on Discord and look, but I am currently looking up right now because there's a lot of there was a funny rumor that a video game developer was murdered by the mob, and I'm currently looking up all these news stories about Japanese devs and their connections with the Yakuza and stuff like that. So I'm currently doing that. That's another future video out there that we're currently working on, but it is funny. But like you said, how countries do stuff, and yeah, this is so weird that the Halloween game of all games is the one that's banned.
Yeah.
It's not because it's like ultra violent or anything. It's because it's because you can smoke weed, it gives you a power up, and it makes me wonder. It's like were games like Saints Row banned there and everything else. I gotta ask Lethal one day. That'd be a fun
seems
thing.
like a pretty easy thing for them to make like a localization change.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a super complex piece of code that it would have been a real pain in the neck to change.
Right. Okay, well that's one funny story. This one we'll kind of get this going because we gotta try to wrap this up a little bit. It says over here, Nintendo Life development on Final Fantasy IX remake reportedly no longer moving forward. So there was rumors out there that they were trying to remake Final Fantasy IX, and they didn't really give a specification for that.
Were they going to do like the Final Fantasy VII treatment and stretch it out into 3 games?
I don't know what they were trying to do. There was like mixed reports where it's like, well, they were just going to do like a more modern remaster and just have it come out and be like a traditional turn-based kind of deal of it. I don't think they had plans to kind of do much more than that, but the story is linked into the description of this video. If you want to check it out as well and give yourself a little bit more of a educated background. Final Fantasy IX was one of the Final Fantasy games I haven't played yet, but I hear some people also consider it one of their favorites, or one of the more disappointing ones, especially after Final Fantasy 7 and 8.
I mean, 6 and 7. I don't know. Some really heavy hitters in that series.
Okay, we just have a few more things here. We'll go with this one right now. So this comes the way of a CNBC report, and it's with the Take-Two CEO talking about the sales of Grand Theft Auto 6. So we can hear it from the horse's mouth himself.
Both, okay,
Yes.
at equal.
Actually, it is skewing more to the premium edition,
Really?
but that might be a reflection, again, of the fact that the most avid consumers are the ones who are
Right.
pre-ordering.
What do
now.
you get in the $100 version that you don't get in the?
You get additional content.
The $79.99
Both.
one.
So there you go. It has been shared right now that the premium $100 edition is actually selling the most. So congratulations, everyone! We're pay pigs. That's I know it's hard.
Every now and then I hear that's like thought that gaming is becoming like a premium hobby, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much discussion on the price of games, and everyone freaked out when Mario Kart was like $80 and everything like that. And then, nothing. This people who want the change in the games to keep the same price, it's like this is just not gonna. We are approaching that where $100 is going to be what you're going to spend on a game, and as you said, it's oh man, this next GTA game is going to make all the money.
It is. Look, man, guys, let's just be honest here. It's going to be successful.
Yeah.
No matter how much you hope and pray for the downfall, listen, all right? This is how I know it's just beyond what we can talk about, all right? My stepbrother, he is 10 years older than me. He doesn't really play video games at all. In fact, he only has a console for my nephew, all right? I see him at 4th of July. Guess what he says to me? You getting the new GTA 6? I just pre-ordered it. All right? There's just some games out there that, people just love to play. All right? GTA 5 has been a massive juggernaut. I think Jason Schreier said it still makes like billions of dollars every month.
Yeah.
That's why
they sink so much money into these live service games. They wanted the Suicide Squad game, they thought that was going to be another live service game that was super high budget that everyone was going to buy and is going to go on for years and years and years and generate billions and billions of dollars, and it flops. But if you get a hit like GTA, or Diablo Immortal, it just incentivizes these companies to really shoot for the stars with these overbloated budget games in the hopes that they'll strike gold. So it's gonna keep happening. We're gonna keep getting that bloat.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that it's all bloat at a certain point in time. It's just, look, people know what they like. At the end of the day, it's just like, why is there like 17 Fast and the Furious movies? I haven't seen a Fast and the Furious movie since Tokyo Drift. All right,
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's what I mean. That's a good one. I haven't seen another one since. But they're still making them. Now they're in outer space fighting the Empire. I don't fucking know. I don't know the stories, but that's what I assume. Why is there 16 Final Fantasy games? I don't know. Why is there 11 Dragon Quest games? I don't know. It's just because people still buy them. There's still an audience for them. They're still profitable.
It does make me like really wonder. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of entertainment. A lot of entertainment that all entertainment is competing with other entertainment. Everyone is competing for time. The time people have to actually spend doing things that are not productive.
I've been saying that too. Look, people really were just railing Matt Booty when he had to say when he said that Microsoft is competing against like TikTok and other things too, and but it's kind of true.
Yeah, it is. People are doing multi-screen things. I full confessions, like my wife and I, we put on a show and that we don't necessarily need a ton to pay attention to, and she'll play a game on her phone. I'll play my Switch Lite or my Steam Deck or something, and there is that overlap. You're getting that dual screen stuff, which is having that negative effect on storytelling in media.
Yeah,
it's awful. But I'm contributing to it, I guess.
Yeah. Like I would say this, even before I had YouTube and everything, I would play my, DS or Game Boy, and I'd put on like Monster Quest in the background, just as like background noise to listen to me playing, like, I'm playing Pokemon and I hear like, and then there's a giant Thunderbird in my backyard and it killed my kid, and I'm just like, cool. Yeah. It's like, I'm like, that's pretty fucking stupid, but I'm capturing this like, Rayquaza here, so I guess I got something to help me concentrate.
I have great memories of playing Star Wars Empire at War while Rush Hour was playing in the background.
Exactly. Okay, so we're kind of running a little bit out of time here because Bongo has a hard out.
Yeah.
So I've
Sorry,
gotten
everyone.
rid of a few stories. But it's been a great conversation. Oni's been really contributing, so great job there, buddy. I appreciate that. But
He's good at
like,
that.
like I said, if we had another hour, I would definitely expound on some of these a little bit more. But unfortunately, we don't. So we're going to close with one trailer for new game features, and then we got one of the lead stories here about Hogwarts Legacy 2. So this one is the Persona 4 revival, and it's the new features trailer. So everyone, this is one of my more anticipated games out there. Persona 4, a lot of people's favorite Personas. So let's check out what Atlas put out there.
A critically acclaimed classic RPG experience is coming to you reborn in a new form. Here are 5 new features you can expect to see in Persona 4 Revival. Immerse yourself in the daily life of Inaba with newly recorded, fully voiced events. Not only will this bring another layer of emotion to the main story, but another layer of connection to newly added social link events.
Wait, was that supposed to be him?
Send Flying, a brand new feature that can occur when landing a normal attack on a shadow with a status ailment, knocking them back. If the knocked back shadow collides with another shadow, it not only deals damage, but spreads the ailment. Keep in mind that this will only work in battles with more than one shadow. Get ready to boogie down with brand new music compositions from Atlas composer Ryota Kozuka, as well as remixed versions of existing Persona 4 tracks. Vocals will be provided by the incredible singer Shiori Sasaki. Give your allies control with Baton Pass, turning your turn into theirs, specifically to be used during a one more. Baton Pass serves as an opportunity for you to target different enemy weaknesses and coordinate with allies to knock down opponents. Wipe out enemies with the powerful new tactic known as Prime Time. During this mode, you get a series of consecutive actions, all skill costs are eliminated, enemy resistances are ignored, and Baton Pass is freely available. Top it off with a flashy series finale that deals massive damage. It's all upside, so when that meter fills up, don't hesitate to use it. Which of these features are you most excited to experience? Persona 4 Revival comes to Xbox Series XS, Xbox PC, Xbox Cloud, PlayStation 5, and Steam on February 18th, 2027.
All right, so there's some fun stuff here. Definitely looks like it's getting the Persona 5 treatment, which makes sense because Persona 5 was, I think, the best in gameplay, so that doesn't shock me at all. I guess we're going to go a little longer, too. I just got a message from somebody who will tag in for you, Mr. Bongo.
Nice.
So we'll get him ready to go here for the other thing here. We'll go here, too, real quick. Do I play Persona in Japanese or English? I play in English only because I do think they have really good voice actors, generally speaking. Other games, I tend to usually just stick to Japanese, but I think Atlas and Capcom do the best job with their English voice casting, per se. All right, last one here, too. This is kind of, with Bongo, at least. This one was one of the bigger stories, and that was Hogwarts Legacy 2 is officially in development as Warner Bros. Acknowledges its existence in a letter to shareholders. So, I gotta ask you, did you like Hogwarts Legacy? Did you play it?
Did not play it. Followed it for a while. It was one of those games that I would have played. Man, I gotta I gotta play more games. This again, it's of course they're making a second one. The first one seemed
Smash hit.
Yeah, it was a smash hit. It was so it's such a valuable IP. We're gonna see Hogwarts Legacy games for the next 10 years, I think, and probably beyond, because they're coming out with the new show, which is gonna again reintroduce another generation to Hogwarts and Harry Potter and the whole Harry Potter world. And Harry Potter's not going away for for a long, long time. I think games, more movies, maybe even more books. Like, it's a moneymaker. It seems,
It is. So the funny thing here is that I actually bought this game because of my wife, like 4 times.
I think my wife would actually like this game. She's not a gamer.
It is. My wife is not really a gamer either, but I'm not even a big Harry Potter fan myself. But I absolutely adored this game and I loved it. I was actually surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Was it
Everything
a perfect
I saw
game?
about it? Everything I saw about it said that they made a quality game. Like it wasn't buggy on release. They weren't just trying to sail off the IP, the popularity of the IP. It's like they made a quality game. So seems like it's not just like we're gonna keep pumping out crappy games off a popular IP and making money off it. It seems like it's earned its second entry.
No, I love the story. I thought the combat was great. I did like that there was some replayability. I know. I wish they had Quidditch.
That's gonna be the next one. It's gonna be.
It better be. I've been chasing that dragon of trying to find Quidditch World Cup from like the PS1. I mean the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube day, which was like one of the best Harry Potter licensed games out there, hands down. Everyone should go play that game if you haven't. Not the new one that sucks ass. But I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I fully admit that. I don't think it's interesting to me. But my wife is a huge Harry Potter fan, and she loved this game, and she wouldn't shut up. She's like, "You gotta play it. You gotta play it. You gotta play it." I'm like, "All right," So I sat down and played it, and I'm like, you know what, son of a bitch, it's really fun. I'm having a grand time just going around just getting nifflers. I think they're called I think I forgot. They're like platypus or something, echidnas. I don't know. It's just like if my wife's here, Sandra, what the fuck's a niffler? She can hear me. She'll text me. But I'm like, I don't know.
I'm more well versed in Lord of the Rings lore, so
I am too. But it's just like you get like the fuck. I don't know. There's some cool stuff in there. And that's for sure. And it did feel pretty cool. There was a timed exclusive PlayStation DLC mission where you had to do like a haunted house, but now that's available on everything. Overall, I would say like Hogwarts Legacy, I can't wait for number 2, especially to see how they improve on it. Because that's for sure what I would like to see.
Well, I mean, I'm sure if I played it, I would have fun with it. I've played big open world RPG games with tons of different abilities and things like that. And this seems like right up my alley.
Right. It is on Switch, so you can play it on Switch. So
yeah.
There you go.
No, I heard the Switch version was not good.
It's basically if the game was made by Bethesda. That's the meme. That's no, but here the funny part is Oni says I bought a copy for me and one for my friend, but it didn't arrive, so he had to buy another one. No, I bought 4 copies for my wife because she wanted 4 copies. So
send one out, get it graded, put it in the little thing with the 9.8 or whatever it is, and then put it on eBay for like $100,000.
No, so this is what happened. Okay, I got the PS5 copy for my wife because it came with the exclusive DLC. So I bought it for her, and then it came to PC and it was on sale for like $15 on PC. All right. So then she was like, well, I want to play it on your Steam Deck. So we got it for the Steam Deck so she could play it on the go. And then they re-released it for the PS4 and the original Xbox One as a collector's edition. And she was like, well, I want that collector's edition. So I bought her the collector's edition, and then we just sold the PS4 copy and just kept so the collector's edition came with a book that was a map of Hogwarts and a little wand that had like that magnet on it that would spin slowly around. So it had like the reverse magnetism on it, as well as like and a steel book and everything else. So I kept the steel book for my collection. We got the book in our bedroom.
I love the steel books.
Yeah, I am a steelbook slut. We always say that. And then I think I bought the Xbox version just because I'm like, well, I want to play this on Xbox because I want to play it and get all the achievements for it. That's basically why. So there you go. That's the story of how we ended up with 4 copies of Hogwarts Legacy 2. And according to the internet, I'm a monster and I killed 4 trans people. So there you go. While we're at it.
I wasn't going to mention any controversy, but this is one of those games that was definitely. I don't think it needed the controversy to boost it,
No.
but it certainly helped the game get noticed by people. You know, it's like how Pal World was boosted by the controversy.
Yeah,
I almost think that Pal World wouldn't have survived if it didn't have that. But this game,
it definitely helped. It definitely were people who were buying it because of the lawsuit. You know, that's for sure.
Yes.
That is true. I mean, I bought Pal World twice. I bought it on Xbox and I bought it on Steam because it was also super cheap when it was in early access. But you know, but it is nice. I want to get back into Pal World, but I need to find a group of people that want to play these games. That's like my biggest problem. I just want to play these games, you know.
Yeah. My biggest problem is that I can only play at like 5 a.m. for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Hey, Cage and Pop Culture Mechanic here. What up, guys? I hope you two are doing good. We're still going to go for a little longer, but Bongo's going to have to unfortunately see himself out. But Neo said that he's going to be joining us in a little bit. So I got a couple more news stories that I originally cut that we're going to talk about with Neo as well. But Jay, it's been great. I definitely want to get you back on a lot more, man. We got to talk more behind the scenes.
Yes, we got to make it more of a regular thing. I love it. It's ton of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. But as for people out there who haven't subscribed to Mr. J Bongo over here, links are in the description of this video. His name is highlighted. Go click his name, go sub to him, and why don't you tell the people who are new and don't know you yet what you do and who you are?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of a new streamer. I guess it's been almost a year now since I started my streaming journey. I play games. I love to talk about not just reaction stuff, but I like to talk about the games themselves, game design philosophy, while having fun at the same time. Sometimes we go deep into off-topic philosophical stuff. But yeah, I think games are important. I think they're important for our culture, and people who think they're just toys don't really help the conversation at all. So I will sit down and talk to anyone about video games and how important they are, and trying to think of anything else. But yeah, if you want to check out my shorts, that's a good taste of it. But the streams are where everything happens. So yeah, Eamon hangs out there a lot too, and we chat a lot about game design. So yeah, it's not the best promo for me, but what I got.
But yeah, I do appreciate you for stopping by, and like you said, you did have a heart out, so really do appreciate it. I'm sorry that we couldn't get into some deeper topics, but you know, hey, look,
it's great.
There's always next time, and I do appreciate hanging out with you. He's a very level-headed man, salt of the earth kind of guy. So definitely go give this guy some love. He is one of the best. All right, Jay.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Peace out, my friend.
I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty. So, I said I didn't want to talk about some of this Wolverine stuff, but I have to say something. There was something I saw earlier online, so I brought it up here too. I have been not impressed by this game footage that they put out so far, and somebody did probably one of the funniest fucking things out there. So currently we have people comparing a boss fight in Wolverine to one from Ben 10, Protector of Earth. I was going to say Alien Force. So here it is right now. We'll give this guy some credit here too. Is Agravo ADG on Twitter. And this is his video, but jeez, look at this. Oh my goodness.
They brought the fucking robot to stop us!
I can't. This game is getting dragged really bad on Twitter because the gameplay has just not looked impressive. It has not looked interesting, and when you see it, when you see the internet start to pull up these comparisons and they are almost too perfect, we're in trouble, you know. And the problem is like this Ben 10 game was probably made with like a shoestring budget of like $20, versus this game we know probably costs like $100 million and has some insane budget. Ben 10 is channeling his inner God of War. That's true. But I can't really defend it. That's the long and short of it. I can't really defend it. It's got me worried. Obviously we had the whole Wolverine, the Insomniac hack. Let's just be honest what it was. We had the Insomniac hack where everything kind of went to hell and many plans got leaked from that. And the entire Wolverine alpha version of the game was leaked online, and we just had all this bad stuff behind it. That's the long and short of it. There's just been nothing good has went its way for the Wolverine games. So I don't know, guys. I don't want to shit on the game. I try to just say like, look, I haven't played the game yet, so I don't know if I'm going to enjoy the gameplay and just hate the story. So I'm trying to keep a level-headed by it. But there's been so many leaks about this game, both intentional and unintentional, that it just does not look good. So I'm gonna pull up another thing too here, because there was another gameplay segment that they put out there. Here, let me see if I can find it. I gotta check my For You tab. I think I replied to it. Let me just check something here. But also, if you could, while I'm doing this stuff, please leave a like on this video. I would very much appreciate it. Share it out with your friends, so on and so forth. Just would love it. I could appreciate it. Where did it go? Go. Ay, Dios mío. Let's go. Whoa. Oh yeah, IGN. I think IGN had video of it. Perfect. Let's go with that one. Yeah. God dang it, IGN. I only need you for like one thing, and you of course fail me again. Oh, I know who to find. I'm also stalling for time as we wait for our buddy Mr. Neo here, because he should be able to pop up here. Oh. I don't know how to look up Twitter. That's my biggest issue. I'm really bad at all this stuff. Fuck it. We'll do this later. So let's go with a different story while we're here. So this one I kind of wanted to talk about as well, but due to time constraints, we did not have the ability to do it. So, says here, God of War creator says Sony's decision to kill PlayStation discs is likely because the needs of the many customers outweigh the needs of the fewer. So, famous God of War creator David Jaffe, who has basically had a long descent into irrelevancy, only propped up by YouTubers and nostalgias to keep him going, and the occasional shots at God of War current day direction. Dave Jaffe suggests that customers can't always be right when you have different customers wanting different things. Dave Jaffe confused me because he's also very liberal, so sometimes his thought process confuses me because he's very against multi-billion-dollar companies, but he's also very lenient on them sometimes, more so than anything else. So Sony's decision to stop the production of discs or new PlayStation games in 2028 has gone down, for the most part, terribly. But the creator of God of War series thinks that it makes sense when you consider that the needs of the wants and the minis of the use. So let's listen to what he has to say here as well. So get out of here. Let's bring up his Twitter account. So we're just going to go right to his Twitter account. For most business owners, the customer is always right, but when you have different customers wanting different things, my guess is the adage also says something like, the needs of the many customers outweigh the needs of the fewer customers. So basically, David Jaffe is trying to make the point that I think I've talked about, and many other people have talked about, that we have kind of basically helped create the whole digital-only environment as consumers. There was reports out there recently that said some countries have different physical percentages of what games they buy. I think somewhere like France said it was like at 55%, and Japan was like 51% people bought Resident Evil 4 physically versus digitally, and in America it was like 22% of all sales in America for Resident Evil 9 were all digital versus physical. But we've also learned from other things such as analytics and so on, such like that, that not many PlayStation 5 games have sold over 100,000 copies physically. And there he is, Mr. Neo. How you doing, buddy?
Good evening. Doing well. Had a little bit of a short open mic tonight, so I just hopped over to your stream, and you're like, yeah, we're going to cut it short. And I was like, I can be there in a few minutes if you want. So good to be here. So what's the order on the agenda at the moment, besides this IGN or Game Radar asking you to sign up for their newsletter?
Yeah, this was David Jaffe basically saying that PlayStation's justified in cutting off its physical media department because...
Oh, that sounds about right for him.
Yeah, because we basically have made it easy. Which, to be fair, I've said myself, where it's like, the reason why they're doing this is because you can see it. Even PlayStation, even Nintendo, when they had their earnings call last week, said that I think 70% of their sales are digital now versus their 30% that are physical.
Yeah, I've been hearing numbers like that, and I don't remember who I was talking to, but they made a great point. Is a lot of these numbers are probably skewed because they're just giving you the total number of digitals, like percentage, and it should only be what's the percentage of games that were digital that were also available physically.
Counterpoint to that, it does. If you can only buy a game digitally, it still counts as a sale.
For this whole argument of physical versus digital, I don't think digital only games should even be considered for that number because it doesn't matter because they're digital only. I
do think that they have to count though. You know what I mean?
Well, if they were transparent and gave us both numbers, then yeah, absolutely. But they do want to obfuscate the physical numbers to make it look like physical doesn't sell as much as it does.
There's just so much data out there, though, that shows you that out of I think we were looking at it. Here, I actually have something that can. This is a micro example of it, but this is for Resident Evil Requiem sales. So,
yeah, not that digital isn't totally outselling physical, but these numbers are they do try to make it look worse than it really is.
But this is like one of the early accounts for. So Valve's platform accounted for 2.3 million sales of Requiem, or 53.1% of all player bases across Steam, Xbox, and PC. This dwarfs PlayStation's numbers of 1.7 million and Xbox's 300K. So
what you're reading, is that supposed to be on screen right now?
No, I'm just reading that right now because this is from a Discord thing. I have to make sure I don't share a message because this is
gotcha.
private stuff.
All right, just want to make sure that we weren't having like a restream issue and it wasn't sharing the screen.
But so basically, what we're trying to say here is that we kind of already have this skew though, because you don't have physical sales for PC.
Right.
There are no physical games out there. So even if you wanted to try to justify, say, well, consoles, we'd have to include those sales because they're skewing them on consoles. But we've already have a platform called PC where there's exactly 0% of the physical sales. So it comes down to like how you want to argue it, how you want to present it, how you would like to do stuff like that. I just say like it's very simple. We already have a platform that's 100% digital sales, and you see it growing more and more every day.
And yes, that is true. But Steam also is much more consumer friendly than the digital storefronts on consoles.
All right, I would say here, this is a thing. The real problem Sony is having on this topic is that Xbox, Nintendo, and even Steam all have other storefronts you can get your games from. Meanwhile, Sony is a closed ecosystem, thus the lawsuit. Every storefront is a closed ecosystem.
Well, I think to make the point, like on PC, you got Steam, you got GOG, you got Epic, you got all the other ones. But on consoles, you don't have that as an option. You only have theirs.
Yeah, but if you use the Steam ecosystem, it's a closed ecosystem. If you use the GOG ecosystem, it's a closed ecosystem. The ecosystems curate themselves of what is on their storefronts. Everyone does it. So it's the same concept. If I buy a Nintendo Switch, that's a closed ecosystem. The only difference is on PC, it's very easy for you to access other storefronts. It's just downloading a launcher.
Yeah, because you have that as an option.
Yeah.
You don't have that as an option on consoles.
Well, you do have an option on a console. It's buy another console or go to PC.
No, because that would be requiring, buying other hardware, not utilizing the hardware you already have.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Every ecosystem, you are agreeing to the terms to go into that ecosystem. Like, I get everyone's point about this, but I stand firmly by this. If you are a consumer and you choose to buy a PlayStation game, you are in a closed ecosystem. Even if you go out and buy a PlayStation game physically, it's not going to work in an Xbox. It's not going to work in your PC. It's not going to work in a Nintendo console.
Right, yeah, you're in your, the closed ecosystem of PlayStation, but at least until they do follow through on this, digital only thing, you have multiple avenues to purchase it from. But once, we're coming to an end of that, and then you have no option of where else to get it from.
See, that's not entirely true, though. If Sony is telling the truth, you still can go to a store and buy a game digitally from that store, and they can still put that game on sale digitally, too. They said that they're going to continue with the code-in-the-box format as well.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
The thing is, like, look,
But who's going to do that? Like, what's the point of going and getting the box when there's nothing in it?
But people still do that. That's the thing. There were still people who were going to PC stores and just buying a Steam activation key for like up to like 2015 at Walmart. They still will go like when I worked at GameStop, people would buy those stupid Fortnite minty pickaxe stuff and all that stuff, which was a code in a box. There's a market for that stuff. Hell, we are just seeing right now that the physical copy of GTA was being scalped, and it's just a code in a box, because,
Yeah, I heard about that. It's like, why are you going to pay over market price for something that has no scarcity?
Right. And, I try to say this. Look, I understand the arguments people are making as, like, it's anti-consumer and everything else like that, which, yes, it is true. And I'm a big physical collector, You can look at me. I've spent crazy amounts of money on physical games, all right?
What? This is news to me.
I know, right? Shocking. But at the same time, like, there is a little truth to some of your guys' argument as well, that they do skew some physical sales, because Capcom themselves have said that key cards, they count those as digital sales.
Yeah.
But I always counterpoint this. Okay?
I would...
That's
a good question, though. Just like on the key card thing, is like, would I consider that physical or digital?
But
I would consider that physical, because you could still trade that and sell it, whereas you can't.
But the anti-key card crowd, what do they say? It's a digital game. It's not on a thing. It's not a real physical game. So
I understand that as well. It's just if I had to pick a choice on like what do you consider this, I would say it's physical because you can still resell it.
Which I can see for a point. But I agree with you on that one. I always tell people, I'm like, look, I don't care if it's an activation disc. I like the ability to, sell it, trade it, and do something. I have like a physical way to do it. I can't really do that with a digital purchase on my game. I could game share. Like that's the best thing I can do. Is luckily I can kind of game share with someone. But at the end of the day, it's like key cards still have an intrinsic value just because I can take it, go to a retro store, go to a GameStop, or in some cases I can buy that game and, hey, buddy, I'll trade you. Like I did this recently with Pragmata for the Switch 2. I bought the Switch 2 copy, and I traded that with my buddy, and because he still wanted to, use it for stuff like that. He wanted to play it, and I got a game from him like that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I said, these people make that argument of like, well, see, it's not real physical ownership, and then someone like Capcom will be like, yeah, we agree, that's why we count it as a digital sale, and then the same person will bleat and go like, so they're skewing the numbers. I'm like, well, what is it? Like, just make a better argument. That's what I'm saying. Make a better argument.
That is a good point.
Yeah, like when I talk to people, I'm not trying to always like talk down to people. I'm like, look, I understand your passion. Just think a little bit more and make a better argument before you like launch into like a tirade. Because at the end of the day, generally speaking, like it is a real problem that we have with physical ownership, and we've seen that with a lot of the Xbox One games going back in the day. The real kicker was for me, Destroy All Humans, the Reprobed edition, I think.
Okay.
When that came out, I bought it for Xbox, and it literally had only like 30 millibytes of data on there, and I had to download the rest.
Yeah, that was one thing that kind of pushed me more towards digital. Is like, what's the point of the disc if I still have to download a large majority of the game from the internet, and also the fact that I can't run it off the disc, I have to install it anyway. So what's the point of a physical copy? But the direction that they're going, if they do this whole disc to digital thing, I'm totally going back to more physical than digital, because that's like the perfect like hybrid between the two.
Yeah, I do like the rumored Xbox plan that they're doing with the whole disc to digital thing, where the disc is just a activation key license. But I want to know what they do on that, because
exactly, I want to know more how it's going to work. Because
there's like games out there that are cross-gen, and Atlas is pretty good at doing this. I think Soul Hacker had both. Oh no, it was the Shin Megami Tensei 5. So Shin Megami Tensei 5 had both the Xbox One version and the Series X version on the disc itself.
Oh, on one disc.
Yeah.
And it wasn't smart delivery?
It was. So whichever console you had, that's the one it would download off that disc.
Okay, so it probably installed the Xbox One version, and then if you were playing in a Series X, it probably downloaded the Series X version from the internet. It would be my guess.
It did something like that, but it was a cool thing to have. But like I said,
smart delivery is really nice.
It's a good idea, though, that what they're doing, where it's just like you just put in a disc, and now you have the ownership, and now you can put the disc away, or you can let someone borrow it. And you know what was weird? Like, people were getting upset because they were like I seriously think there was like some people who really thought, I'm gonna run and buy all these games at GameStop, and I'm just gonna own nothing but like all these digital games, and then I'm just gonna sell them, and I'm gonna get them. It's like the Underpants Gnome episode, or it's like step 1, steal the underpants. Step 2, and then profit. That's like what it was, you know.
I don't know what this middle step is, but it's gonna make me money.
Yeah. So a couple things here, Oni. So they have moved some of their manufacturers off there, but a lot of them are still being made by third-party people. So I don't know. A lot of people that I've talked to said that it's not necessarily as big of an issue to do that. It's more so Sony does have the patent for Blu-rays, so that's the thing right there. Like Sony is making money off of every sale that you have with a Blu-ray. So unless someone comes up with a different physical media, our buddy, friend of the show, Mr. Grimm, suggested that in the future they could just be basically like SSD cards or something like that.
Yeah, like Nintendo Switch games.
Yeah, where they could try to do that to get around it, but now, it all depends. Gaga over here making tutorials for people to turn games in their libraries into physical games. That is cool and all, but I always kind of like lean on the caution of like how many people really want to do that. And, you know, it's cool to see. I like people that do it, but then I always hear like a lot of people say they want to do it and they never do it. That's another thing too. The option's good. I'm not saying don't have the option. I'm just saying that a lot of people do not fucking put in that much effort, right?
Yeah, like along those lines, I saw a video last week. I'm like, I really like that idea, but it would kind of take a bit of work to do it. And it was basically launching all your Steam games via floppy disks. I was like, I really like that idea.
And then Mr. Cage here says, what they need to make where we own the games we buy.
Absolutely.
The thing about that is we still have like a way to own these games. Like we still have access to them and everything else like that. They can take stuff away. It is out there. That is a thing to worry about. But at the end of the day, I'd say most of the games that they talk about were either colossal failures that no one plays or some very fringe cases. I do think overall than not, we shouldn't have to worry about that stuff intermediately. Like, you should just go out there and buy your games and play it. What you should be doing is going out there and arguing with your representatives to get a bill in Congress or wherever you live to try to get digital ownership to not be licensed.
Yes. Exactly.
You know? Because at the end of the day, with how expensive physical media and just owning a console or a PC has become, even if you don't like the cloud streaming thing, there are going to be people who just gravitate over to that because of what's the big keyword? Accessibility.
Simplicity.
That's just what it is. However you could get to it without the most difficulty. It's why... here's the problem. The one big problem I always had with these people is that they act like when they were 5 and 6 that they were fucking rich. And they just had every video game growing up. You know? When the truth is we all went to Blockbuster. We all went to Hollywood Video, your local mom and pop store. And we all rented video games, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, that's just the case of it. It's just... people want to have the ability to play video games. People want to have the ability to listen to music. People want to have the ability to see a movie, you know? And by hook or by crook, as the old saying goes, it's just people will find a way to do it, either through piracy, either through renting, either through ownership, you know?
Yeah, yeah, with the... going away of physical also makes the whole renting thing a little more difficult. The best renting thing we've got is probably Game Pass. But yeah, as Mr. Cage mentioned, Game Crazy does still exist. For those of you who forgot about that. But, a lot of games are digital only nowadays anyways, so you can't rent them.
Well, I would say this. A lot of the games that are digital only cost between 10 to, like, $20, a lot of them, too, you know?
Yeah, indie games, for sure. But yeah, there are, full AAA, well, I couldn't name any. Well, yeah, AAA release, GTA 6, digital only. But there are big games that come out that are digital only.
But they're very rare and far between, you know? And a lot of the games that are like super huge, that are digital only, are basically MMOs that have just been around for so long that, well, of course, it kind of makes sense why these games are digital only now. I will say to counterpoint with you, but on top of that too, it's not just Game Pass anymore. Nintendo Online, PlayStation Plus, Amazon
Nintendo
Prime.
Online is even worse because you can't even buy those games. At least on Game Pass, you can still buy all those games.
Mm-hmm. But like PlayStation Plus, they have Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you get free games every month. Epic Games.
Yep,
they
I
give
always
you free
go collect
games.
those games even if I have no interest in ever playing them.
There's been like so many ways for people to play video games now where they don't have to. After they make the initial investment into their games, a gamer can play, really good high quality games now every month for a decent subscription fee.
Yeah.
And, it's like, to go with Oni here says, imagine if Xbox and Sony are banking on RAM shortage to make personal gaming so expensive it becomes impractical. Thus, now everyone is forced into cloud gaming. Cloud gaming has been around since 2015, even earlier. PlayStation actually was the first one to have a cloud gaming service.
Really?
Yes. Like PS Now, that was a thing. On top of that, too, Nintendo Switch had a cloud service to try to kind of compete with some games because the Switch hardware couldn't keep up with, obviously, the One and the PS4. So it's not so much that I don't think these companies are banking on RAM shortages to be high, because a lot of these companies have to have RAM and memory for other things like computers, TVs, phones, because I don't think they want that stuff to be high too, because the truth is, even if you sell an item as luxury, you still want to have people be able to buy them. You know? And even when COVID was like really kicking off, like the things that got cheaper, ironically enough, were the fun things because they weren't selling as much. But now that's because they could accept that loss, versus now they can't accept that loss because RAM and memory and storage has become insane.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for this one so far. But I got another one here for you, Neo. This one I wanted to talk about, but since you're here, I think this one fits you a little bit better. So this comes from a guy called, I think it's Ryan Elliott. I think that's how you say it. And he's from Analia Analytics. He says, Halo Campaign Evolved has sold a total of 1.2 million copies, generated $670 million in revenue.
67 million.
Oh, 67 million, sorry.
I bet they wish it was 670 million.
Yeah. That split roughly is 42% Xbox, console, and PC, with the Game Pass upsells were reported last week, now removed. 41% PlayStation and 17% on Steam. That Steam number is surprisingly low to believe.
From the anecdotal stuff that I've heard, I'm surprised that the PlayStation was almost the same amount as Xbox.
Right. I'm not surprised by that. Because I think, like, when they released Gears of War, I think a lot of these remakes and remasters were Phil Spencer's plan to try to get PlayStation players to buy the game more than Xbox players. And that's what I truly think with Campaign Evolved, that they only remade this to try to get PlayStation players. Like, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like most, though no longer all, Xbox first-party games, Halo launched straight into Game Pass, and about 2.1 million players jumped in via their subscription across console and PC, with a little under 600K forking over an extra $20 for the premium pass to play up to 5 days early access, cannibalized sales. I actually did pay the extra $20 to play it on Xbox because
didn't you get the physical?
I got a Steam copy. They were sold out of the. So what it did for me was I did buy a physical copy of it for Xbox, but I bought it later because I got the collector's edition and I missed the Xbox copy, so I got it for Steam.
Okay.
So like I gave away my Steam code to somebody else, and I just kept the physical copy for me. But I played it through Game Pass, and I wanted to pay the extra little $20 because I'm like, okay, I'll go check it out and I'll see how it is, and so on and so forth.
I didn't realize because I knew that there was if you pre-ordered it, you could access it early. I didn't realize that if you if you were just playing through Game Pass, you could just pay the difference to get early access. Not that I would have done it either way, but I didn't realize that was an option.
Yeah, they do that a lot actually.
Yeah, I've heard of it from other games. It's like, if you pre-order it, you can get early access to it. If it's coming to Game Pass, you can just pay whatever that difference is. But I didn't hear about that specifically for Campaign Evolved.
Yeah, it was kind of announced a little bit early, and I think a lot of people may have forgot about it. But I know I saw the pre-order thing, so I pre-ordered the $20 down, and I gave it a shot, and yeah, the rest is history. We have been doing a retrospective, AC and me, on the Halo 1 so far. We're going to be doing a part 2 because we didn't get through all of it. But
I listened to that the other day.
I am shocked that it has sold nothing, to be honest with you. We could kind of sit here and we could kind of armchair quarterback about like why it hasn't sold many copies. I think the one thing, the common ones that I hear people say is obviously, well, it's a remake of Halo. There's no multiplayer. There's no co-op. Yada yada yada.
There's co-op. There's no versus.
I think there was no. I thought there was no couch co-op.
Oh. Because I know you can play it in 4-player co-op, which was not the original game. It was only 2-player co-op, but
yeah, you can.
It might only be 2-player on the same Xbox. You might need another Xbox if you want to have more than 2 players co-op. That I'm not sure about.
Yeah. There are several deep dives as to why this game didn't sell well. I would say that there's probably like 5% of those are legit, to be honest with you, about why it didn't sell well, and the rest are just, nonsensical. Just like using the same talking point. But Neil, what are your opinions on it? Like, why do you think it didn't exactly take off? Because it's Halo, and even though the franchises has lost a little luster, it still would probably be, good enough probably to. Well, to be fair, it did have a grand total of about like 3+ million players, if you count the Game Pass subscribers.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, you thought they did this just to capture some of the PlayStation base. I mean, that was probably part of it. I probably wouldn't say that was like the intended primary goal. But I think that they knew they had to do something for the 25th anniversary. So they're like, hey, this should be fairly easy, and we can use it as a test bed for Unreal Engine 5, since it's the first Halo that is not on. Is it Blam?
Yes.
Halo?
This is a modified version of the Blam engine with Unreal.
Yeah, because I was going to say I don't know if all of them have been on Blam.
I think they all have been, yes.
Okay.
Except for Infinite, that was Slipspace, but that's a modified version of Blam
as well. But yeah, they definitely have lost a lot of luster, ever since it was 343 and not Bungie. 4 gets a lot of hate. I don't really get the hate for 4. I liked 4. 5, I understand the hate for. And then Infinite, I actually just played for the first time about 2 weeks ago. And the story wasn't great, but I thought the gameplay was great. So I really enjoyed my time with Infinite. But yeah, overall, it's definitely been on a steady decline.
It's hard to keep a series going.
And it's a game that we've been playing for 25 years. So I can understand that it's didn't sell all that well. Plus all of the all of the controversy on social media and whatnot. Probably, I'm not saying that's like a huge reason why, but that probably played into it at least a little bit as well.
It was definitely a buggy mess, but I feel like a lot of the bugs.
I actually didn't have any bugs.
I think most of that came from the prequel missions.
Yeah, you said the prequel missions, which I started with the prequel missions. I don't think I ran into any bugs, so I had a pretty smooth experience.
I was like, it was fucking Space Vietnam for me, man. It was worse than Halo 2 on Legendary.
Maybe they put out some patches, because I only just finished playing it about 2 days ago.
Yeah, they did put out a huge patch update, but there was problems with like trying to kill jackals, like their shields were just too strong. There was problems with like getting one shot by plasma pistols.
I didn't have that problem. At least I don't think I did.
I had that problem a lot. And just generally speaking, the prequel missions were just uninspired garbage. They weren't interesting. The storytelling wasn't like over the top. A lot of people were like made Williams like the focal point of all their like outrage slop, And I was just like, I didn't even find her like that annoying to like care about, because she just dies, Like at the end of the day, she's an expendable character.
Yeah, she's in like I don't know, like 3 cutscenes. I didn't like her, but she wasn't in it that much. So
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with it. I'm like, oh, they're doing a half-hearted attempt to do like a ODST like storyline, and there was no real payoff to like get that invested in it because she just they all die at the end of the mission. Spoiler alert,
yeah, which didn't really make a whole lot of sense. I'm like that. There could have been another way to do that, I think, but
I feel like it was rushed and added on just to try to say like, okay, we'll try to make something to kind of add on a justification for no multiplayer and stuff like that. And we'll give like a half-hearted wink and a nudge to the real Halo lore nerds, that like actually read and know the lore between like the Spartans and the ODST, and then we'll just do like that. And it was like I said, I had nothing but issues with that. Elites did not have weapons. They would just run backwards and moonwalk like Michael Jackson. And
I didn't remember any of that.
The Sergeant Johnson would glitch, and I couldn't keep the progress going on levels. I really was not a fan of it. And I think a lot of people did kind of, I think, just go right into the prequel missions.
Yeah.
And
like, that's what I did. It's like, what I remember before it came out, I heard that the developers encouraged people to play through the original game and then the prequels. But like, why would I do that? I've beaten the original game, dozens, if not hundreds of times. I'm going to start with the prequel missions.
Oh yeah, so they admitted that they were fucking dog shit. That's what they were trying to tell you. They warned you. But yeah, like you said, once I went over, because I played all this stuff pre-patch. So once I went over to the main campaign proper, I'm like, well, this actually is good. It actually handles pretty good. There was no glitches or bugs. No, I didn't run into a single issue when I was playing the real campaign. But I always caveat, it was built on something else.
Yeah, my 2 main issues is that I had to remap my controls just to be able to toggle the zoom with the left trigger without having to hold it down. That was really annoying, but at least you could easily remedy that. The other thing that really annoys me is still, at least as of like 2 days ago when I last had it up, there's no way to see what levels you've beaten on what difficulties. We had that in the game originally in 2001, 25 years ago, and you don't have that in 2026? WTF are you idiots doing? All you gotta do is show us what difficulty we've beaten each level on in solo and co-op, like every single Halo game is done. Those are my biggest issues.
Yeah, I hope that they can figure this stuff out going forward. That's really what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, I don't want to see Halo, die a sad, slow death. I want to see it back to the limelight. Not that I think it'll ever reach the peaks of Halo 2 and 3 again, but I would like to see it
at least have a Halo 4. Technically, that was the best selling, I think, of all the Halo games.
Oh, I have no idea about the sales of them. I'm just talking about like the hype between players in the industry and stuff. Like Halo 2 and 3, it was like another time. And I don't think we'll ever get back to that, but I would at least like to see, if we do one more Halo, I would like to see it kind of go out with a bang at least.
Yeah, well, like I said, hopefully maybe we get more spin-offs. I know a lot of people kind of want the Halo to kind of go away a little bit from Master Chief for a bit and kind of like make more like ODST style stories and stuff like that.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. ODST is excellent.
ODST is a great soundtrack, great concept idea.
I love that.
Even Reach was the same way. It's just like great concept, great idea. I don't know. I can't. It's hard. Halo, when it came out in 2001, was groundbreaking and generational.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now we're talking about like 25 years later, and it does feel like it is the high school quarterback now in the room after he graduated high school. You know what I mean?
You mean like stuck in the past?
He's like the guy who wears his varsity jacket to the bar.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I was all-star quarterback in high school. It's like, dude, that was 30 years ago. You got to move on.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but it's just like the industry has just changed and evolved. And on top of that, too, I think there was a lot of attempts to try to get something out, like you said, for the 25th anniversary. And, you know, Xbox right now is in that process of righting the ship, I guess you could say. You know? And it does feel like a lot of people have been, I think, unfairly judging Asha Sharma right now for a lot of decisions that Phil Spencer made. And maybe not even Phil Spencer himself, but like Amy Hood and Sarah Bond and everyone too.
Okay.
So I am curious to see, let's see what Asha does like year 3 after more of these games are worked through the system, after more of these contracts are done, after more of these projects are greenlit and everything else like that. I think if they tried to cancel this project, it would have been worse. I think Xbox is already in a bad spot as it is, so if they would have just straight up said, nah, we're canceling this, everyone would just be doom and gloom posting, be like, Halo's dead, everything sucks, and everything else. So nothing would have changed. But
I was like, not that people haven't already been saying Halo's been dead for years, but yeah. Yeah, so far I've been very impressed with her. I don't remember how many months it's been now, but I've been very cautiously optimistic since she took over, and I think for the most part she's been doing a pretty good job. But we'll see how long that continues.
You know what? I will say this. With the amount of changes that she is pushing out for the Xbox console proper, it has been nice and refreshing. It has been nice to see that after years of begging for backwards compatibility achievements and everything, that we're finally looks like we're going to get that for getting OG Xbox and 360 games on your PC and play anywhere. That looks like that's finally happening a lot faster too. It is nice to see that it's refreshing instead of just like, oh, we're going to kindly just, buy studios and just give them, infinite amount of budgets for them to come out and then nothing is going to happen from them. That part isn't true there, Oni. That part that's a lot of misinformation there.
I mean, there have been firings, yes. The H-1B visas, I've not heard that anywhere, so I have no idea if that's true or not.
That's Microsoft proper, and that story is old. People are trying to conflate a different Microsoft story with the Xbox firings. That is not true. Look that up a lot more. I
don't know, so I can't say one way or the other. I just know that people have been fired. But
people have been fired, but
necessarily a bad thing because some of these studios probably needed it.
Yeah, well, it's funny when the Elder Scrolls announcement that Asha went to there, she got to get hands on with the new Elder Scrolls game. They had like all the like people who were fired from Bethesda. They're out there and they had the giant inflatable rat. And I love a good inflatable rat when I see it on the road. I always go like, hell yeah, we got the rat out. Let's go. You're a real union. But, like you see these people and they're like all upset and they're protesting and they're saying like, well, we lost our job and everything. And I just go like, guys, look, I support the devs because if I like something, I support it. But at the end of the day, you can't have a budget of $100 million and make negative $95 million in return. All right, that you don't keep a job like that. I'm sorry.
Yep. Well, most people don't. Some of these, high-level CEOs and their golden parachutes do, but yeah, most people don't.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, look, they earned their way up there. A lot of these people. Phil Spencer started at the bottom before he became like the top of Xbox.
Yeah.
And even then, he still had people over him. And guess what? He's gone. Sarah Bond, she's gone. So a lot of the people who were at the very top, they're still gone too. And unfortunately, they had a terrible plan, and the people that they hired that they thought were going to make their plan a success also failed them. So guess what? The axe falls on everyone's neck equally. Just some people have a better chance of like surviving it a little easier. That's all. It's reality is cruel. At the end of the day, and it's stupid. Yeah. I'm just reading here. It seems like the story's about 3 weeks old. Now, the story for this, I remember this. It was around when she was first brought in, when Microsoft... Well, it was when Microsoft had their first round of layoffs. Everyone was talking about how they replaced them with H-1B visas because they filed for them too. So, like that,
but
look, I keep up on politics stuff. Like
you're more plugged into that type of stuff than I am, so I don't.
The truth about that is that Microsoft story has been very misrepresented, and it's kind of like one of those things where it's like every time there's layoffs, there will be like someone brings up like, well, they hired H-1B visas. Microsoft themselves have put out a statement to refute that, and there's other stories out there about it. You know, like I said, I'm not exactly pro H-1B visa here for anyone listening, but you know, they're trying to attach that story to everything when it's true, but it's wrong target. You guys are right on, but you're wrong target, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. And then personally, I'd rather wait to see, mostly because I don't have a dog in this race, so to speak. Well, you kind of do have a dog in this race. Even if you're on PC, you still got the Windows Store, you still got Steam, they got games on Steam, you know.
I mean, he's just talking about in the console race.
Well, it doesn't even matter for the console race because Microsoft is more than just a console. Play Anywhere, like the Play Anywhere thing, that's PC as well. You buy a game and you can play it on your PC. You buy a game and you can play it on your console. You buy a game and you can play it on your ROG Ally on the go, on your phone, you know? The one thing I do like about Microsoft's strategy is the Play Anywhere. And when we were talking about the whole disc to digital thing, that is one of the issues that I had. Like, I was talking to some physical collectors with. I'm like, how do they make a physical game work with Play Anywhere? You can't. You literally cannot do that.
Well, that's exactly what the disc to digital system.
But I'm saying this was before they said that. Before
that. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. Because that's the solution. You want your physical media. Microsoft is okay with giving you that, but they are really invested in this Play Anywhere, and it has been I think it's been a good thing. It is very consumer friendly.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's just the biggest bummer is that there aren't more games that use Play Anywhere, but I understand it because the devs, why would I want it to be Play Anywhere when I could sell the same game on 2 copies essentially on 2 different platforms? So I understand why they wouldn't want to, but it's definitely more consumer friendly.
Oh, I hard disagree with this one. You have no idea how many things Microsoft owns patents on, where if they went under, it would really actually affect you. Like a Havoc engine is one of the biggest things that they use in gaming. Like if you look at a lot of games that use Havoc, Microsoft owns that patent, So I would say like Microsoft's $1 trillion company. They own stuff that you're not aware of, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying be a little bit more careful on that one, Oni. But I don't think they're going under. You're correct.
Yeah.
Like same with Apple. It's just like they own stuff that you might not just be aware of. Because these people are fucking evil empires of tentacles, all right? They got their shit in everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's a good way to go, Neil. We added like an extra hour. Thank you for stopping by. We'll talk more after we end this, but I'll plug you in here afterwards as well. But would you like to tell people who you are and what you do?
Yeah. I'm glad it's kind of worked out because usually I'd be live right now as well, but my open mic went a little short. So I saw you were live and you were going to cut it short. So glad I could hop on and talk some news because I don't really ever talk news. So, but yeah, so for anyone who isn't familiar with me, I do a lot of panel streamings. I've been doing a little bit more gaming streams lately as well. But I typically do my Metroidvania Monday where I'm streaming Metroidvania games. I just started Guns of Fury on Monday night, and that's been a lot of fun. Tuesday night will be Party Chat, where we just talk about fun video game topics like, what game do you have the most hours in, or what's the worst game in your favorite franchise, stuff like that. And Thursday nights, I usually do an open mic where I just have a guest on. We just talk about video games. So that's kind of a high level of what I'm up to. But so my next thing is tomorrow. I'll be continuing my playthrough of Satisfactory with Lowest Expectations. We'll probably finish it. We're right at the very end. We just need about 200 more coupons to get the 1,000 we need to get the last achievement for me. So we're almost done with Satisfactory. So I'll be doing that tomorrow morning.
All right, right on, right on. As for me, we will be back tomorrow, and we're going to be sitting down with our friend IJP Mexican, aka Frankadors Gaming, and we're going to be doing a retrospective of God of War Uno for the PS2 for everyone out there to check it out. And then, of course, stay tuned. We got more videos in the work. We got some unboxing videos that we have planned and lined up. We are making a follow-up video for our PS3 video. This one's focused for exclusively checking out games to buy on your PlayStation 3, both physical and digital, to add to your collections that are expensive and not expensive. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be working on that. The script is done for that, but we're working on, obviously editing and writing that. And I do have a little, quick preview. We're going to be doing an unboxing of Shadow Gambit, and this is the complete edition. I just got this in the mail. So can't wait to do that as well.
No idea what that game is.
I will tell you about it after we get off stream, because it's actually pretty fun.
Oh, if you don't mind, I address those last two comments.
By all means.
All right, so I'm on. Said Metroidvania Monday, huh? Sounds like you and Bongo get along. We do. He's been on my channel a few times. But yeah, if he wasn't so busy, he can be a little difficult to get a hold of. But yeah, he's been on my channel a couple times. He's a good dude. So I always love hanging out with him. It's a bit of a side note, but if you like Metroid style games, you played Lucid. So not this last Monday, but the last 2 Mondays before that, I played the Lucid demo on Metroidvania Monday. And Carl had the developer on yesterday. I'll be having him on for open mic next Thursday, a week from tonight.
Yes, he's a good dude. Very, very fun guy. And yeah, that will do it for this episode of the weekly news update. So before you head out, if you could, it would really appreciate it. Could you please leave a like on this video? Really helps. A small sacrifice to the algorithm gods. Let us know who we are and let us grow. And with that being said, everyone, I like you all, I love you all, and you have all a wonderful night. And we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.